Still fits even though I've gained quite a bit of weight.
Yeah, they do. You punch above your weight when you consider what you haven't got a lot to select from.
No, exactly. Yeah.
There's only basically 3 teams, 4 teams.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, to get a competitive team out of such a small.
Hard, that's for sure. Yeah. Hello and welcome to the finals day here at Viking Park, kicking off on second field here at Viking Park. We are going to be having First Division, second grade, Queanbeyan versus West. And joining me in commentary for this one here, myself, Luke Kimber, and Phil Hawkey. How are you today?
Good, thanks, Luke. Yourself? It's a beautiful sunny day here at Erindale.
Yeah.
The people are just lining up now to clap their teams on. Wests are out. I can't see. Oh, yes, Queanbeyan are down they got the banner too up today. Look at that. That's awesome. Someone's resurrected the banner from about 2014, they tell me.
From the glory days, maybe. Right. I'll quickly run through the team list for today's teams. So for West, we have a couple of little late changes, so I'll run through. At loose head pot, we have Via Laval. Hooker, Tony, I'm going to butcher some of these names, so I'm just going to call you Tony. Tyson Solly at tight head prop, Sam Jones and Khan in the second row, Max Clark at blindside flanker, Patrick Bacon at 7, Tavake Taholo at 8, and a late change at 9, Lucas Thornhill will start over Stephen Amosa, who's had to pull out thanks for a calf injury late this week. At 10, Des Fagafa. At 11, Luke Warwick. Number 12, Stuart Lolatonga. 13 is Alex McNamara. Jordan Banks on 1 week, and the experience of Craig Roberts at the back. And Hawkey, if you might be able to pronounce the Queanbeyan's.
The Queanbeyan side is
better than I did just then.
Gungahlin at 1, Tim Woods at number 2, Jason Warangi the other side in the front row, Eddie Atatua. Dirk Wilkins, the captain, is at 5. John O'Murphy has recovered from a concussion to play at 6. Tom Darmody at 7. The former Wests player, Aaron McGuinness, but also a former Whites player, is at number 8. Johnny Lalatoa is at 9. A very talented 5'8", an older bloke called Daniel Hawke at 10. Luke Cochran on one side at 11. I think to be confirmed will be Dan Pencer.
Yeah, yep.
And he joins David Kerr at 13. Will Truscott, a young colt, and is at 14, and another colt, Aaron Robinson, is at fullback. Yeah, they're coached by Luke Cochran.
Awesome, and Adam Blue is the coach for West, and officiating the games today will be James Hogan and as the main referee. AR1 will be Matt Huggins, and AR2 Nathan Mass. Just before we get underway, if anything does tend to happen with the Facebook live streaming, we had a little bit of a problem a couple of weeks ago with it, but feel free to head over to YouTube onto Bar TV, who's doing all our live streaming here today. Head over onto them, and you can watch all the games on Bar TV. Just before we get going, I'd like to have a quick thank you to all our sponsors: Hahn Superdry, Griffin Legal, McDonald's ACT, O'Neill's, Poplars, Rourke Projects, PTP, and True Fit and Hill. So it looks like the teams are about ready to come out of the park, and like Hawkey said, it's a nice day, so you should be expecting some good running rugby. What are you looking for from your Queanbeyan side today, mate?
Well, the last time the two teams met, it was a 38-all draw, which was a quite interesting game because Queanbeyan run the ball around a fair bit, but West rely on their pick and drive. In fact, they'll go 60 metres up the middle of the field on the pick and drive. So I think Queanbeyan will obviously try to run the much bigger West's forwards around, while Robars will be driving his forwards up the centre of the park and conserving energy, because I think both sides have been well into the buffet. They're in the buffet feeding frenzies over the season.
Well, best being First Division second grade, no doubt a couple of beers will be had after this one. And here's West running out now. A line leading them out, number 7, Patrick Bacon, captain leading them out today. Queanbeyan runs through their banner. There's a great crowd out here as well. It's only early in the morning, but a great crowd for both teams. We, of course, will have games going on this field all day, and then leading into the big one. The Royals versus Vikings of first grade on field 1, kicking off at 3:25. If you're not doing anything today, make sure you head down. $10 entry to get into Viking Park here and watch some fantastic footy. I'll tell you, Hawkie, the last couple of weeks I've been watching this division, and it's surprising. You kind of forget, because it is one of the lower grades, but you kind of forget how many ex-first graders there are, or quality players there are running around. So it's good. It's still a good level of footy.
It is a very impressive a grade, in the sense that they play a much higher level of football than what you consider fourth grade or Div 1 level, second grade.
Yeah.
And there are some very talented footballers out here. I mentioned a couple of the Colts from Queanbeyan.
Yep.
But you've got legends like Dan Pencer, Craig Robards, McNamara in West, who has won a few grand finals.
Yeah,
with,
Craig Roberts has obviously got a couple of McDougall medals to his name as well, doesn't he? And then, like you said, Dan Pencer, the long stay at Queanbeyan.
And of course for Craig, it's the end of an era for him. He's given up a coaching job at West, but he assures me he's going to continue to play. I'm not sure how old he'd be. He might be 37, 38. I'm not sure.
Oh, he looks a bit older than that. That's no,
we'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's it. I don't know how his hammies bloody hold on to those kicks he does. He loves the torpy, doesn't he? He gets a hold of them, though.
But he does actually steer the West team around the paddock. You watch him from fullback. He just keeps talking to them and directing where they go. He's the sort of the Craig McMahon of West.
Yeah, exactly. And to kick us off, Dan Hawke with a nice low trajectory kick taken up by West on the right-hand side of the field, and a good run. Halfback Lucas Thornhill gets hold of the pill, and like Phil mentioned, they're just going to rumble up through their forwards. Hooker Tony takes up through the middle, and they transfer out. Bit of space in front of the number 10 here. Des Fargafar, quickly cut down though. The intensity is already high in the first couple of minutes of this game. Clean-outs are brutal, and they're getting through them.
And you'll notice they just hold on to the ball. There's nothing fancy about what West do, but they'll go for 15 phases without even... I've just put the mockers on West, but
then he's dropped the ball straight up.
But I think they've got an injury
here
already.
I didn't catch his number when he went down there.
I think it might be John O'Murphy.
Oh, no. So he's clutching it. Looks like his arm, his shoulder or something like that. I don't blame him. There's a couple of big fellas in the West
it's not John O'Murphy, because I can see Murphy.
You hope it's not Dirk Wilkins, the captain, is it? No. Maybe it is.
I think he might be, because he's the only one with a bit of a beard out there, I think.
Yeah. I can't see him standing in the huddle to the left there either, so that... It could be a very unfortunate start for Queanbeyan there. There's some stinging defence, but like you said, Phil, there's some big boys in this West pack, and they're not afraid to rumble it for 40 phases. He's getting up slowly here.
Yeah, you're right. It is the captain.
And a lot of these players would have played a lot of rugby, so you expect they'll be tough as nails. And he's standing up. Looks like he's holding a rib or something like that there. Yeah, having a look at his rib. And he's pulled his shirt up, which is not a great sight. Nah, he's still got a bit of fitness, the old fella, but he's getting around. Looks like he's going to shape up and jump in the scrum here.
He's actually a school teacher over here at Erindale College. So
there you go. With your son?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I think that's how he managed to find his way to Queanbeyan.
Ah, okay. And then look at that.
Right, so we've got a scrum Queanbeyan, Johnny Lalatoa.
Yep.
To feed the scrum. Another Colt player, and a very talented player, but a bit hesitant about training.
Yeah. Well, he's perfect for fourth grade then. And how's that for poor Dirk Wilkins there? He's gone from holding his rib and a rib injury straight into a scrum. He'll be feeling it in a second, that's for sure. All right, so they're about to pack down for the first scrum of the game. So it was just called time off for the injury, and Queanbeyan got the ball off a knock-on from number 10 from West. So they'll feed it about just inside the 40-metre line for West.
It's probably where we'll see the different aspects that we've
West
lost.
come through there.
West
very
have won
strong.
the scrum.
Oh, and then been absolutely poleaxed in the midfield there. This is going to be a physical game, and there's another big bump off. It's all going on, that's for sure. Look at them go. And a carry up through very close to the ruck. And they look to shift it now. Low trajectory pass gets well handled by number 10, Des Fargafar. And does West look to control the ball around the halfway line. Another low pass. But it looks like we're going to have a penalty for offside here. And West just getting around their number 9 here. He was, of course, a late change, Lucas Thornhill for Steve Amosa, who's got a lot of experience. Steve pulled out late with a calf injury, but they'll be looking for Lucas to step up, which is who you reckon will be stepping up in terms of this. In terms of your Queanbeyan side, you mentioned a couple of young fellas around the back of the.
I think if you watch this Robinson at fullback,
yep.
if he gets any ball, he'll be gone.
Yep.
But also you got the veteran out here on the wearing 11.
Yep.
Luke Cochran, who's the coach of the side. He scored 3 tries against West the last time they played, and has been a prolific scorer. But yep. Robinson. In 4th grade is the club's highest scorer. He scored 115 points during the rounds. So he's quite a talent.
Yep.
Again, another reluctant Tuesday and Thursday night performer.
Yeah, right. And Queanbeyan, through some good fortune, got an overthrow on the line out, but they've kicked the ball downfield, which looked like a good option, but it's gone all the way dead. So they're going to have to come all the way back to looks about the 30-metre line for a scrum, I'd imagine. So we're just getting around him there, and Craig Roberts had the smarts and the know-how just to leave that one go dead, so they'd come all the way back and get an attacking scrum. Jeez, it was a big kick, eh? I think
that was Dirk, the captain, who kicked it.
Oh wow.
Now, they dominated the last scrum, so I can't imagine that they won't perform here and win their own ball.
Exactly, yeah.
And so, as I say, West just stranglehold on the ball and will just continue to motor away until they get a result.
Well, that's the way West have got it. West have come from a good initiative from Matt Vowles, who's changed the way the final series works in First Division Second Grade and First Division First Grade. They have a 6-team finals when West have actually come from 6th place and had to win every week to survive, and they've done that and got all the way to the final against Queanbeyan, who went through 2 weeks ago. And that's a good carry from number 13, Alex McNamara, and like you said, an experienced veteran. Yeah,
well, McNamara, with a bit of history with McNamara, he won a grand final in the 2nd grade for West after the bell against Queanbeyan, and a few of these players were playing in that game, including the bloke who's marking him today, David Kerr. Yeah, so there's a bit of a square up looking for it, but it's a very clever kick, and Robinson's going to have to do well, and he has done
very well
cover
actually.
up.
And there might even be an option here for a quick tap, I think, a quick drop out. And Dan Hawker's done a reverse spin drop kick. Did you teach him that? Don't know how he's on that one.
This is where
it's worked somehow, and Robbo's got it at the back and looks to do another torpy. He loves those, doesn't he?
I don't think anyone knows what you're talking about. What's a torpedo? It's a bit like a drop kick in Australian football now, unheard of.
Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely gone away from that a little bit, and then we'll have a line out here, Queanbeyan, about on the 40-metre line.
Well, you can't really say Queanbeyan's been involved at this stage. It's nearly all Wests.
Yeah, exactly. And another dynamic line out from these fellas. There's unfortunate bounce, though. And the young number 6. Well, I'm not sure if he's that young, to be honest, but Max Clark, he looks like a young fella.
Yeah, I think he is.
Yeah. He was very good last week, really energetic and a couple of really good runs up the sideline. West looks to come back his way. Through number 4, that's Narquise Khan.
He's gone. I can see the number 2.
Yeah. Good little shift there. Again, the physicality through the middle is really evident. That might have been McNamara close in with a carry there. A little bit of niggle from Hawkey at the back there, and the big fella. Oh, then big Solly. Oh, it was a good shot. I'm trying to rip the ball off, and he's going to have to roll now, or he's going to get penalised. Referee lets it play. ball becomes available, and good line speed from Queanbeyan on the outside there, forcing him back through the middle.
Actually, James Hagan I feel is one of the better referees going around, as he's very empathetic about the game. He sort of understands the game and he lets it go on. And this game is a high standard because he's not blowing the whistle every 30 seconds.
Oh, and big number 8 does get through the line from an inside ball from Craig Roberts.
I'd say
just knocks the ball on.
I'd say Queanbeyan's just about to lose their captain. He's down on the other side, and it doesn't look like he'll continue.
Doesn't look good. So
the replacement is
might just be warming up now.
Brian. Looks like the replacement will be Brian Muller.
Brian Muller,
who's played most of the year in the side.
Yeah. He's just gone. That's a. You'd imagine maybe. Who would take over captaincy now? Probably
maybe either Dan or it'll be one of the Dans, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
Dan Hawke or Dan Pencer.
Yeah, it looks like James Hagan's just talked to Dan Hawke. So Dan Hawke will take over the captaincy. So, yeah. Yeah, just a little confusion through there, but that's all right. We'll
Queanbeyan scrum. Let's see if we can get some ball.
And hold on to it. We'll see how your son's hamstrings hold up. He looks like he's on the treadmill most of the time when he's running, but we'll see how he goes. You'd imagine the play here is just to give it to Pencer, really. Pencer. Not like under 12, just give it to the big fella.
Let him bash it up and then try and work off that, I'd say.
I had a quick chat to him pre-game, Pencer, and obviously he's playing a lot of first grade through the years, and he's played in first grade last year as this West scrum goes
Just lost another scrum.
Number 6 picks it up from the side, and they look to rumble again. And Pencer comes through, shoots through, and makes a good tackle, ball and all. They look to shift the ball a little bit wider now, and he's kept a hold, control of that. Don't know how. He's done a good job though. And Pencer looks to put on another big shot,
and the bloke's offside. Anyway, it's all right. It's a knock on.
Yeah, as I talked about him, he's there. He probably could still play first grade. Actually, he definitely could still play first grade.
He had about.
But I think he's enjoying drinking the beers.
It gets to a stage where he's got a couple of kids now.
He's got 2 kids now, doesn't he? Yeah,
2 kids, and
can't commit to training all the time, which is good. Doesn't have to roll up and just play.
But he does help. He's the assistant coach in Colts.
Oh, okay.
So. So he's still contributing to the club in that way.
Mate, I still remember my first grade game against Queanbeyan, and Pencer was the opposite number 7, and I remember trying to get him off the ball when he got on it, and pretty much breaking my arm doing the process. So he's definitely still got it. As the West scrum goes forward again, and number 6 picks up Max Clark and goes forward.
3 times the Whites have packed a scrum, and 3 times they've lost it.
Yeah.
So that there has been no possession by Queanbeyan.
And it looks like there might be a bit of a penalty for a late shot by Dan Pencer, or arms in the tackle. Oh, he's called a high shot from Dan Pencer, actually.
They'll kick for points. There's no doubt about that.
No doubt. It's probably one of his Achilles' heels, Big Pencer. He likes his aggression, but it's.
Well, I suppose I've been overruled here because given the fact that they've won 3 tight heads against Queanbeyan, why not go for the scrum? And that's what they're doing.
Yep.
I'm a bit surprised though. I thought Robards would just chalk up the points.
Yeah, obviously confident in the scrum. Maybe they might even be able to get a yellow card out of it if they keep the pressure on. So we'll see how they go.
The Whites haven't gone down. It's more or less they're just going backwards, and so it's a bit hard to understand because it's not a bad front row.
Yeah,
it's probably now weakened, of course, with Wilkins off the field, and I'm not sure who's going.
What they're probably just giving a lot of weight away. Tyson solely on the tight head side. He's a big boy, so he's been getting through and dominating. So we'll see what happens here.
They're going to have to get it in quick. West ball, so that's a bit better from
Queanbeyan. Yep, and look to shift the ball right. Oh wow! What a hit!
McNamara's hit it
by Pencer again. It looks like he's a bit.
I think Pencer's more damaged than McNamara in that one.
Wow! That was a massive collision, and this is what we're talking about. It might be first division, second grade, or some people call it fourth grade, but it is as physical as they come, and there's a little bit of push and shove at the back of the ruck.
It's play on.
and it's still going on.
That's the first penalty to Queanbeyan, and hopefully they'll get a bit of territory and perhaps can win a line out.
Mate, this is what I was talking about. There was a bit of something from the hooker, Tony. I'm going to butcher it again. I'm just going to call him Tony Tuulakatau. That'll work. He cleared someone out beyond the ball and looked a little bit rough. And look, that's what we hope it doesn't turn into. They're obviously two big physical sides with some aggression, so we hope it just stays clean and they just use that in the right ways. But you never know. So Hagen just having a chat to his AR here. They definitely both stayed down for a while. I don't know who he had, but he had someone, and he was on. He's a scary looking bloke, Tony. So I don't think I'd want to question him when he's running at me. I'd probably get out of the way. But
so they're not. I don't think they're sure. Oh no, they're going to go for number one.
Number two. No, that's him.
That's him. Yeah, that's Dent.
Let's see if he reaches for the pocket here. I didn't quite see. It just looked like he's reaching for the pocket. A yellow card for Tony. Just looked like he took a fella out past the ball and then a little bit of rough and tumble on the ground. So he'll spend 10 minutes in the naughty chair.
Well, that will probably help Queanbeyan at least in the scrums.
Yeah. Of course, they'll have to bring a front rower on for him and take a flanker or something off. When that comes, so there'll be a man down in the scrums for the next couple of minutes. But
I've just realised that Queanbeyan is not at prop. It's a young Colt player, Gordon.
As this is coming right for us. Oh, good.
It's young Gordon Dent to this in the front row.
Okay.
So
looks like your son might have had a gripe with you there, mate. He's trying to kick the ball directly at you. Good shift, great pressure from the.
Now this is McGuinness, of course, can make ground, and they'll work off that second.
What's
phase.
his history, mate? Has he played a bit of higher grade footy?
Oh, McGuinness, yes.
Yeah, I thought he had. Yeah.
He's probably played 100 games with West, probably 20 games or 30 games with Queanbeyan.
Okay.
But he also has played he's probably played 2-3 seasons with the Queanbeyan Blues on the dark side for a while.
Oh.
Who kicked that?
And Hawkey, it's your son. Your son's looked to clear it, and he's kicked it straight to Craig Roberts. Who goes with his.
This is where Queanbeyan can counter.
Yeah. Look to just give it to the big fella here.
Yeah, and then it should go to Robinson.
And Pants has got his hands on the ball.
And now we've lost the ball.
Yeah.
So Queanbeyan are having no phases, and West are just phase happy. So
yeah, it's an interesting kind of little game going on here because it's a lot different. There's a lot of sting in some of this defence, and both teams. It's probably the physicality is almost going against them because they're wanting to just truck it up and have a carry 1 ounce and things like that. Maybe the chance is a little bit wider and getting away from some of these big boys, especially for Queanbeyan. So. As West are going to have to bring on a prop here, and they're going to take off Jordan Banks on the wing there. Yeah, bringing on a prop just to shore up this scrum, and we'll see how he goes. They've actually... hooker, sorry, that's my bad. And Alex McNamara, he's been very good the last couple of weeks, actually. He's
a good footballer.
He always got a bang on his chin, and he cut his lip open, but he's got it taped up.
He might have had
he looks a bit funny.
Shaving incident, but he certainly got it strapped up there.
Yep. West scrum seems to hold up, and number 8 takes it off the back. That's Tavake Taholo. And then they look to go back to what you said, that 1 out. But I tell you what, they're not making much ground with it, because it's physical defence from Queanbeyan. So we'll see where they go to here. Shift the ball. Oh, an absolute bullet of the pass.
This is Gordon, who's quite another talent. Just can't force his way into the Colts side.
Yeah, I thought he might have been a Colt. I recognised him. And that bullet of pass hit his inside centre in the face and in the hands, and so it'll be a scrum to Queanbeyan just about on halfway in the midfield. So here's your chance, isn't it? Here's where you want to hold the ball and get down in there. Let's
see some of the speedsters get hold of the ball.
Looks like they've gone for they've kind of stacked the right-hand side here and left the left winger on by himself. Is he quick, that left winger?
Yeah, very quick.
Okay, so that might be...
He's very quick.
And he's on Craig Roberts, so... I mean, you want to back Robbo's experience, but maybe not the legs.
Yeah, not the legs. I'm surprised they play him at fullback, but I suppose he gets a bit of protection there, and he's not called upon to do too much. And that's
that was a
not
pass to no one, and Steppy. He's going to have to release him there. And they've come to the blind side. Pensa has put a nice little grubber in for an old flanker. It wasn't a bad little grubber. He might have picked up some skills being in the back line. I never thought I'd say that, but
he started life as a hooker. And
I think he might have played there a little bit last year, actually, or the year before. Maybe.
Yeah, he did. Then he moved to the back row and spent most of his life in the back row.
Yep.
That's why he's kept his good looks, I'd imagine.
As we have a West line out, about on 25-metre line. They've gone to the back. Don't think it's particularly straight.
Not straight. So
an even better attacking chance now for Queanbeyan. A tight game, and I tell you what, the last couple of weeks has been tight in all of these grades.
I mean, last week was a classic, really, wasn't it?
West won pretty much after the
West
bell.
kicking a penalty. After the bell.
To take the game away from Tuggeranong Vikings side that was, to be honest, had the goods on them all day.
Yeah.
And then West came through and just got that penalty, and that was that. It's a good contest though, so we'll see how this one goes. So pack down for the scrum. Backline set out to the left. I think they'll be looking initially for a Dan Pensa kind of short ball. Oh no, they've gone to the blind side.
McGuinness.
And the big fella has a good carry.
Of a rumble up. Now they've got to keep the ball. This is where they've got this far before, but have always conceded the ball.
Yep.
Halfback Johnny out to Hawk.
There's a big gap
Hawk
there. Oh, good tackle though.
Good tackle from...
He gets up and goes again. He's still going and throwing people off.
The bulldozer.
And call is Rio, so they're coming to the right, I imagine. Oh.
Like there's Tim Woods, who's a very talented footballer as well. And
probably 5 metres out here.
I'll be going the other way.
Just look to stay a bit composed here, I think, Queanbeyan. You're in the right areas.
Yeah, just stay here. That's right. Let McGuinness do some work. Now on the left, they've got only got 3 defenders.
Numbers to burn. And then the pass goes.
The pass is a shocker.
Oh, they had a massive overlap, 4-on-1 almost. And then the pass just goes too low, and Dan Hawke drops it. He's definitely hammies weren't going to handle it then. We won't blame him.
No, I think the halfback's pass was terrible.
Yeah. That's all right.
But at least now they're up the right end of the paddock. But this is the first time they've really threatened.
Yeah.
And
you'd say they're probably guaranteed a try then if they'd hold on to the ball there. But nevertheless, West get a chance to clear their half and play down the other end.
I'm not sure if the wind's... I don't think there's enough wind to make any difference, really.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like... Something's blowing across, but I'm not sure that... There's no trees moving.
It looks like it's giving probably Queanbeyan the benefit here, I think.
You're probably right.
It might just be a bit swirly, but it's a brilliant day, though. And that's not a bad
Queanbeyan are running
actually.
Towards the Arundel Centre.
It looks to shift. And great footwork. Cochrane takes off up the left side.
Who can score a try?
He draws and passes and takes down the left-hand side. Great tackle from number 7, captain Patrick Bacon. Stops him on the far side.
Some of the passing from is pretty ordinary.
It's a good pickup, though. And Aaron McInnes takes it forward. They look to shift back to the left-hand side through Dan Pensa. Draw and pass, gets it to his winger.
Truscott tries the impossible, but we've got a penalty.
It looks like he went for a little grubber there and would have been out. It would have been Queanbeyan's ball, but they've got a penalty.
They've got a penalty for no arms in the tackle.
Yeah, so it's probably third or fourth one there.
They've had a bit of possession in the right end of the field, but we have to get some points.
The classic first division, second grade tap and go. Give it to the big fella. Takes it up the middle. I think that was the hooker, Tim Woods.
Yep.
Now, keep coming to the right.
With some decent ball.
And that's Cochrane again, isn't it?
Yep.
He's probably manhandled there. Probably a good key to stay on your wing.
I'd say shift left and there's overlap. No, they've
gone to the right. Hawks drawn and passed and given to the outside centre. And a good cover tackle by number 5, Narkis Khan.
Well, let's retain the ball. It goes to Hawk again.
Come through the middle, and I think that's the replacement, isn't it?
I think that's Brian Muller holding the ball. They're at least holding the ball.
Oh, there's a big overlap here if they stay square and just give their hands. Yeah, great
and
try.
Gordon, Big Gordon, the replacement prop, has scored for the
I'll tell you what,
first try, the first points of the game. It's taken a long time to get there.
It has. That's been 15 or so minutes have gone past before that. But tell you what, Tim Woods did really well there. Just squared up, took the contact actually, and then threw a nice little offload over the top to get the opening points of the game. So that takes a score to 5-0 to Queanbeyan with the kick to come.
I'm assuming Aaron Robinson will be taking the kick. He is.
He is. A couple of people blowing a little bit, I imagine. Not much fitness training this week. Probably more
I think
a couple of beers and.
Well, one of the things that I suppose one of the things to Queanbeyan's advantage is having those younger players who do train. They train with the Colts, so you get a bit of a balance between the young fellas and the old fellas. It doesn't seem to be that many young blokes up at West, but.
Yeah, not too many. I know the right winger who's currently off the field, Jordan Banks. He's a younger fella. And, the number 6 looks like Max Clark. He looks. But yeah, you're probably right there. Maybe the youth is really what's helping Queanbeyan here. They're definitely giving away size, but as the kick,
he's missed the kick.
Sails out to the side, and the score remains 5-0 to Queanbeyan. So.
We've got 13 minutes to go, yep.
Yeah. And West probably pretty smartly just taking their time getting up to halfway to probably try and get rid of that yellow card and getting back on the paddock. He looks like he's standing up and ready to get on. Shouldn't be too much longer before he gets back on. That'll, of course, get the hooker and Jordan Banks back on the field. They put the mocker on him on the sideline. That's
a hard call, but it's technically correct.
I put them on. The big oohs and ahs went up as the kick went up, and he dropped the ball cold. And as per usual, there's some fantastic chat getting thrown on the sideline.
Right, so now West have got a good opportunity here because they're only about 12 metres out. They've got the line-out throw, which they've managed to win their own ball in general. So
yep,
and they've. I'm not sure that the other players back on yet.
And Queanbeyan stolen at the front of the line out and have gone. This could go against. That's almost a worse result.
It is. They've now got a
scrum 5 metres out.
Whites have taken it back into the in-goal area, and have forced West have forced a scrum. Their own feed.
Yep. And to add insult to injury, the second rower, the hooker has come back on the field. So it's a full-strength West scrum again, and Jordan Banks back on to the right wing.
So you can expect nearly an attempt to get a pushover here.
I'd imagine so. Or the big number 8, Tavake Taholo, just to go blindside. Because Jordan Banks has actually come all the way out to this side and sitting behind Craig Roberts. So there's actually no one for West on that blindside. And though he might be quick, the winger over there, William Truscott, I don't think he's going to be able to take down the big number 8. So
I don't think so.
We'll see how the scrum goes first up, though.
They're looking out the back line.
Quite a few options open here to West.
Yes, I think Robards is working with the winger, having a long chat here.
Yeah.
So I'd say there'd be an inside ball here to the. Well, they've mucked it up with the pass.
The physicality is just ridiculous, and Dan Pence
has just taken the ball off him in the tackle.
Candy from a baby and a good box kick.
Yeah, because there's no one home here because Robards was up in the line, orchestrating a move.
So McNamara gets back.
McNamara's had it. He's tackled and he's got back to his feet. Whether he released,
it's pretty close. I'm not sure, but they've gotten rid of the ball pretty smartly. And
now this is a danger. If it doesn't go out,
well, That's probably characteristic of the grey we're playing with a hooker standing on the wing. He probably was looking for a rest, the big fella, but big Tim Woods, but he's caught the ball and then run out. So
the West crowd weren't very unhappy
they're
about
doing a good job, the Peanut Gallery, weren't they? They're giving him the big oohs and ahs again.
On that far side, they're on the scoreboard side, the West crowd having a bit of fun because Queanbeyan are making their mistakes on that side.
Yeah, always find that funny, the fellas in the Peanut Gallery yelling and screaming. That wasn't particularly straight, but they'll play on here, Wes. Oh, good line from he's a very big fella, big number 5, Nikes Kwan. Nikes Kwan. It was probably mispronouncing that. Apologies to him. I'll have to do some learning of languages. Good counter comes through the middle here, and
that was. I don't know who drove in there, but he did the right thing, and they won a penalty.
Yeah, and West probably just panicked a little bit, and I think it's the captain who just sealed off not supporting his own body weight, and so the penalty goes against, yes it was, number 7, Patrick Bacon. And they look to play down the other end now. Oh, it's been a cracking game of footy, 5-0 too. Queanbeyan got another chance here, and there's a lot of walking going on, so this might be taking their toll a little bit.
I think Queanbeyan were relying. It's not straight, but he's letting it go.
Yeah, why not, eh?
Queanbeyan did a lot of talking about running them around, but I don't think they've had enough possession to run them around enough at this stage. But
yeah, or they might be struggling to run around themselves a little bit. But that's all right. Oh, he's a big man, isn't he?
Yeah, you know,
McInnes.
And he does. Oh, that bloke's having a shocker.
That's brilliant.
Queanbeyan 5'8". Dear, oh dear.
Oh, I had a chat to him before the game, and I mentioned to him that I'd be doing the commentating today, and he said go easy on me, and I said there's no chance. There's no chance, and he's dropped that one cold. He'll be kicking himself. He holds himself into a bit of a high standard too, so.
I was just saying, McInnes does CrossFit. Okay, you know, when you look at him, you wouldn't think.
You wouldn't imagine it.
But I think it's mainly lifting weights and that sort of stuff. What he does, I don't think he does the. I don't think he does the box jumping or anything like that. There wouldn't be a box that could hold him.
Yeah, that's a good point. Oh, and a couple of Dan Hawk's 2019 schoolboys are here to watch him play. So, I think they'll be. Those players would be saying, well, if you can't do, coach, and it's pretty obvious.
That's a penalty.
Yeah, a bit of a knockdown.
It's a deliberate knockdown by centre Kerr. You cannot do that.
So West will look. That's just another relieving one. Queanbeyan have had these opportunities inside the West half, and it's just relieving pressure here. There's pretty good positive chat from both sides here in terms of what they need to do. Oh. He's done pretty well here, the number 9.
Doesn't matter much. It's still West line out on the 10-metre attacking area.
And I can tell you, Big Tony's standing right in front of us, and I'm equally as scared of him now as I was before. He's a big, scary fella, and he's just got this line out straight enough. Yeah. That's probably fair enough. As the flanker, number 7 for Queanbeyan tried to come through, the West have obstructed his run, and a penalty goes against him there for that. And Queanbeyan looked to come up. It's a pretty average kick, to be honest.
With about 6 minutes to go, Queanbeyan have got to take this opportunity. They're not getting many, although they're holding West pretty comfortably at the moment.
Yeah, there weren't many straight, but that one was probably as unstraight as you could get. He almost caught it on the other side of him, but so another scrum. And a couple of the West fellas getting ready to go here. Probably a lot of puffing going along though, which I can't blame them.
Robards is playing 5'8" here.
Yeah, he is too.
Up into 5'8", only for the scrum. And Johnny's actually won the ball, but there's no Whites players there.
Queanbeyan
finally get there.
Oh yeah, Queanbeyan has actually gone forward on that scrum, so maybe the running around tactic is starting to work. West may be starting to get a little bit tired, and They look to bounce back to the short side. And number 6 takes on another big contact by Tony.
John O'Murphy. John O'Murphy is a bit of a legend. He introduced the chainsaw, if those people can remember.
Chainsaw.
When
I
Jamie Marmont was on song. Well, he's still pretty well on song, but it was John O'Murphy who turned up to a grand final of a final series with the chainsaw.
That's fantastic. For those who don't know, Jamie Marmont, he got the nickname the Chainsaw out at Queanbeyan, and one grand final they had a bunch of chainsaws with the chains on them, didn't they? They were revving them up.
ACT Rugby introduced introduce the law banning chainsaws.
Thanks to Queanbeyan. And that was a massive run again by McInnes, and they look to shift to the right.
Eddie Etatue is made a bit of ground there. Now,
don't know if there's much of a clear release there, but they've gone through the middle. Offload and
they've lost the ball.
Lost the ball there.
Trying to be a bit clever.
So it looks like James Hagan has called them off the ball there, Wes, and then they've let it go, and Queanbeyan's then just dropped it.
We got Torpedo.
Wow, that's a great nudge, to be honest. Yeah, so
it's only less than 5 minutes to go, and Queanbeyan is still in a reasonable position, but I think they should be moving the ball much wider.
Yeah, definitely. There's just a lot of opportunities that they're missing. They're probably getting drawn into West game a little bit, just trying to chuck it up the middle and match it with the big fellas. But it's going to be difficult all day with the size of this West pack.
This is better.
Oh, and it's a pretty good read by number 13.
Yeah, McNamara.
McNamara again.
Do rate him as a player.
Oh, Hawkey is... Well, he's done pretty well, to be honest.
He's still got the ball. I thought he must have dropped it, but no.
Well, you're getting used to him dropping it, mate.
Now, this is where they've got to just keep going. Move it again.
And it's not a bad little line, and as a try scorer, takes it up pretty well there. That's
and he's offloaded to Tom G. Darmody, and
he's lost the ball.
He's knocked it on. So West, hang on. You've got to give them credit for their defence because they've been under the pump. And they'll be under the pump here because...
I've made the assumption that the advantage would be over there, and I apologise for that. So, we'll see what happens here. We're going to have a scrum pretty close to West's own line. A couple of people, more than a couple of people going down and trying to suck in the big ones. It was interesting. Last Queanbeyan scrum, they actually went forward. So it's another big opportunity for them here. If they can get that ascendancy, they might be able to get the ball back, and then they're in a good position to score. So we'll see what happens here.
They've moved. Yeah, also Tom Darmody, the flanker, has moved into the second row when Dirk Wilkins has gone off.
Yeah.
I don't think he would have played too many games second row, but he's a very experienced footballer.
Yeah.
And they seem a little bit tighter.
Yeah, it's probably helped them out a little bit. Just as we have time off here, just would like to thank our sponsors as well as Bar TV for live streaming the event today. Our sponsors: Hans Superdry, Griffin Legal, McDonald's ACT, O'Neill's, Poplars, Rourke Projects, PTP, and True Fit and Hill. Like I said, there's going to be lots of fantastic games going on today here at Viking Park. Next up will be First Division, First Grade. The Dirty Reds from Goulburn will be taking on Gungahlin in the grand final. And then after that, on the second field, we will have the women's grand final, 15-a-side grand final between Royals and Uni North Owls. But back to this game here, it's only a couple of minutes till half time, but
yes,
there's a big opportunity here for Queanbeyan if they can get the ball back and get that ascendancy. But she's a tight matchup. And it's another good Queanbeyan side. They get going forward.
This is most peculiar, isn't it?
Yeah.
The whole scrum thing's turned around.
And Robbo has put an absolute perler of a torp in. It's drifted to the side and then come back in.
No.
That was brilliant, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. Well, they should have been covering that because that.
Well, you know he's going to be the kicker, don't you?
Yeah, you know he's going to be the kicker, but also they left the line exposed pretty well. And
yeah. Oh, well, we'll see what happens here too. All right, does Queanbeyan have the line out about on the 43-metre line?
Let's hope Tim Woods, the hooker, can get it a bit straighter. but he didn't.
No,
In fact, West have got the ball now and are well in control of from that line out.
Yeah.
And the forwards are all coming in for the pick and drive, which is going to go on for a while. They'll use up probably the rest of this game.
Yeah,
this half, I'm sorry, but they've got a
knock-on advantage.
they've got a
here
knock-on
too.
advantage.
Look to spin the ball. That's a great ball from Craig Roberts. Gets it out to
And that's
McNamara, and he takes up
McNamara.
the right-hand side. Got Jordan Banks on his outside, and he looks to flick past, and Banks holds onto the ball, stays in there, and he throws the offload back to a Queanbeyan player. And of course, there was no ruck, so no offside line there.
This is where they got all the West forwards. A lot of the West forwards are out here in the back line.
Oh, and the ref is getting a ribbing there from them.
I'd be tapping and running while they've got this combination out here. You've got four forwards are sitting out here in the back line, but nobody's looking, so they're going to go for the line, and this will be the end of the
half, you'd imagine.
First half.
Well, they might get the line out, actually, depending. It's a pretty good kick. You know what? They might actually they could have a crack here. It was a great run up the right-hand side there by Alex McNamara. He gave a good offload to Banks, and then he's looked to offload it. And, of course, there's no offside line because there was only a tackle. And Queanbeyan players coming back onside, caught the ball, and looks like West have infringed at the ruck after that. So, see what happens here with Queanbeyan. They've gone to the back and... Oh, yeah.
He's let it
go. Why not, eh? Let the boys play.
There's no time on the clock, and Queanbeyan are just over halfway.
Yeah.
They must keep the ball.
And it's a good line from Dan Pence, but it's well read by McNamara. That's going to be a good matchup between those two in the midfield. And the physicality is there, definitely in the ruck. Shift back to the left to McInnes. He's a big man, McInnes. I'm surprised he does CrossFit. I'd be doing something. I don't know what I'd be doing if I was him.
Dieting, maybe.
I'll let you say that, because if I say that, he might come and tell me otherwise. West have somehow got the ball in that ruck there, and the young flanker, Max Clark, comes away with it. I keep saying young because he looks young.
He'll go to the kick, surely, or he's going to get caught behind the line here.
I don't know what he's going for there. He's done all right in the end.
He did a goose step, which... he
stepped himself somehow.
Stepped himself and fell over. But they'll definitely kick it out because they're only playing with fire at the moment.
Yeah, and that ball has gone out, and we'll be on referee's time. They've gone quick, but I think Hagan is calling, yes, half-time. So there you have it, half-time in the first game of today at Tuggeranong Vikings. It was Queanbeyan leading in the grand final against West. We'll be back after the half-time to bring you the second half for today's contest. Okay, and welcome back to the second half of the match. First Division, second grade between West and Queanbeyan. At half-time, Whites were leading West 5-0. And West will look to kick back in the second half. Luke Kimber in commentary here with Phil Hawke. Phil, it was a bit of a toss-turn first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, you wouldn't really say that either side achieved dominance.
I agree.
West probably had the early part of it, and then Queanbeyan have taken the second part, and now Craig's made a poor error for Craig. You'd hardly ever see that. He's kicked it out. He's kicked it dead from the kickoff.
It was in mid-flight. I thought it was a great-looking kick, and then it's just one of the West players looked to trap it with his foot. He's gone underneath his foot and rolled all the way dead. So we're going to come back for a scrum on halfway. And the scrum has been a bit of an interesting talking point for both of us in the first half. The West definitely had the ascendancy in the first probably 5 or so scrums, and then Queanbeyan crawled back in the late half of that first half and got some ascendancy towards the end of that. So we'll see what happens in this one here.
There's been a change here too, because Luke Cochran has gone to halfback.
Okay.
So Johnny Lalatoa, I would imagine, has been taken off so that he could substitute. So Craig's is under a bit of pressure there. Yeah, so Cochran's gone to halfback. They're running the ball here from a kick out, and this is Will Truscott, the first time he's touched the ball. There's not much of him.
He's avoided a tackle very well there. The big number 12 was going to clean him up, and he's done pretty well there.
He'd be lucky to be 30 kilos, but he can move. So Cochran's gone to halfback. Johnny Lalatoa would be now on the bench for the Colts.
Johnny had probably a bit of a struggle first half. He threw a couple of balls to the ground, unfortunately, but maybe not all his fault. There's been a lot of breakdown pressure from West as Queanbeyan take it far right hand side.
I'm just trying to see who's taken the other wing.
Yeah. And they look to shift the ball through the midfield.
They've decided, I think, at half-time that the ball movement's the way to go. And Gordon's done very well. And Pence's down the sideline here on the left.
And he's strong, isn't he? Look, he's throwing people off. Eventually taken down by number 4, Sam Jones for Vikings.
And as happens, there's a knock-on.
Yes.
So on
the young fellow who scored in the first half, sorry, what was
Gordon Danalea.
Okay, so
he's going all right, eh?
Yeah, he's going very well, actually. He was good there too. Caught a nice ball hard ball to take in and then off.
So they brought onto the wing on the far side Toby Allen, another Colt age player who has got pace, but can't crack the Colts
side, which is a very good Colts side, we must say, who will be taking on Royals later today. So, I mean, it's not always an indication of a bad player. It's more of there's so much depth and things.
Well, these blokes are first-year out Colts, so you've got to contend with the second-year Colts
who were there last
are a
year.
bit more experienced.
Exactly, yeah.
So, but I mean, they'll have their opportunity next year, that's for sure.
Exactly. It's a good kick, gets them down. The Queanbeyan fullback looks to bring it back and loses the ball. Ball security is becoming a bit of a problem here for Queanbeyan. They've done pretty well to steal that ball and stifle any kind of attack they could have, but it'll be a West scrum about on the 40-metre line, attacking 40-metre line.
You shouldn't be making mistakes like that. They were not even under a lot of pressure, but...
Yeah. Interesting to see what West go with here. It wouldn't be a bad decision to get big Jordan Banks out on the wing, the ball as quick as you can to try and get him one-on-one with the relatively small Queanbeyan winger he's facing.
Will Truscott.
He's got a pretty good footwork, big Banksy as well, so he can get his hands on the ball pretty early. But that being said, they'll probably look to go through the middle through McNamara. He's been probably one of the most consistent players I've watched over the last couple of weeks, just with ball carrying and his physicality. So his time was off for a little injury there, but looks like we'll be getting back underway here.
I think the West line is over there. I'm not sure what he's up to, but You don't see many mascots in the John I. Dent Cup. I think that's the only one I can think of.
I know they got Eddie the Eagle out at
that's true, yeah.
in Gungahlin, and then I can't think of any others. You're probably right. I mean, you can't really. The Queanbeyan Whites can't really have one. You can't really just have the Whites.
It's hard.
Whites up. Ah, yes. The Owls also have one. We've forgotten.
Oh, yes, the Hooter.
Yeah. The Royals don't have. I know the Royals don't have one because, well, our symbol is just a couple of rounds. So,
I mean, you try and think of a way of getting some sort of animal associated with your club, but it's not easy. It's all right for Eagles and Owls and
look, as the Queanbeyan side scrum is going forward again. Good fullback from the young number 9, the late change, but he's tackled somehow from McInnes. That CrossFit paying off for sure there. And they look to shift to the right, Wes. And get it to McNamara, and he's 1-on-1, but a great tackle from his opposite number. And then another tackle. Was that McInnes again? Hey, that CrossFit is definitely paying off.
And now they've made the mistake. This is a bit of a mistake-a-thon. He's trusted. They will not catch him.
And a great covering tackle. Craig Roberts dives on the ball. They're going to have to let him get up before they can release him there. Oh, man, you wanted to see him in a bit of pace, in a bit of space there, Truscott, if he could.
Now,
kick the ball back, and
if they're sensible, they'll go right.
Is that the hooker?
Yeah, that's Tim.
Oh, good on you, Tim.
And there's Robinson. This bloke can run.
I love to say Tim was there positionally, but it's probably more out of.
So Robinson's made a bit of a territory. Hawks got the ball and it goes out to Cochrane, and he's got Pencer outside him, but he's going to go himself.
Oh, that's
maybe a bit high, but I think that James Hagan is not going to be convinced that was worth anything.
You're probably just falling a little bit in the tackle.
Here's Tom J. Darmody, and back to Woods.
Tim.
He's had a boomer.
Yeah, he's played very well.
Murphy.
Oh,
that was another big hit.
Was.
And I don't think 13 David Kerr is too healthy.
There's a lot of people down and back play as well, where the physicality is evident. They come back to the right, and McInnes goes a drop kick. It's not a bad option. And he's got the ball. Trying to make it all the way. Steps out of one tackle. Great cover tackle from the West captain.
How they ever got there.
And they come
Pencer.
to the left to Dan Pencer, who scores and left-hand shot.
Well, that was untidy, but effective. So we've got Cochrane carrying an injury.
Cochrane, I think I saw Roberts down at one stage. No doubt
David Kerr in the centres is suffering from a hit from, I think it was that man, McNamara.
It looked like they tried to both catch the ball, and McNamara might have just accidentally elbowed him in the face.
Yeah, he might have just got him, so...
he'll be up and going again. Mate, that was...
Well,
so we'll call it ugly, but it worked.
It worked. Woods featured very strongly.
He did twice. He was standing a fullback.
And then...
Definitely probably more out of necessity to catch a breath than positional, I think.
Then there was a chip kick from McInnes.
Yeah, it was too. Well, everything going on. McInnes has made 2 or 3 cover tackles and a chip kick. He's doing well.
And the paper bag Truscott managed to make ground. He got held. Finally, Hawk got the ball and threw a nice wide ball to Pencer to score.
You probably would have disowned him if you threw a bad pass there, Hawk, but he's fed the right area of the field, so...
He's a little stressed this week, of course. He's got the Colts to come, so...
Yes, the big game. As he's, of course, the head coach for the Queanbeyan Colts, number 10, Dan Hawk. And Dan Pencer, he's inside centre partner, is also the assistant coach of that team as well, as we look to have the conversion.
No, just left. So there's a replacement for West where...
Tried to charge that kick down.
He's taking... Well, that's an interesting move. He's taken Banks off.
He has too. Okay. Yes.
I think he's brought on a jockey to match up our jockey.
Yes, this young fella. Yes.
That's very, very, very fair and reasonable of West to...
Mate, I've watched this young fella the last couple of weeks who's come on the right wing here. Very, very steppy.
Pace?
Fella. Yeah, a bit of pace.
He looks like a man with pace.
Jinky. He can get around the field very well. So they look to get the ball in his hands if they can, as Roberts gets a great restart off.
Well, Banks can feel himself unlucky because he hardly touched the ball.
Probably the testament to the way West play through the middle. And Cochrane has stepped into 10. Gets a nice ball and they look to play wide. Dan Spencer comes back on the short line and is well tackled there by replacement number 16.
Advantage.
An advantage here for...
I'm not quite sure what
he
that was.
Pretty good there, but... We'll see what the symbol is in a sec.
Poor old Luke Cochrane's getting belted a bit here. He's feeling the pain.
He's called no arms in the tackle there. I wonder if that was for the tackle before. Because number 16, the replacement, looked like he got a good shot on the halfback there, but we'll see what happens.
So we've got Robinson's going to kick for the line.
Not too many people covering the line here for West as he gets back the new winger. That's coming straight for us again. Hopefully it misses us. There we go. And a great one-handed catch by Tony Abel saves it as well on the sideline here. And the one-handed pass, he says to me. A quick line out from Queanbeyan, shifts the ball to Dan Hawke. He shifts a great ball out to the side to number 13. He's got up after that big hit.
McGuinness is driving him forward, but West have won the ball.
He's not a bad little player, this Max Clark, the number 6.
Oh, he knocked it on. Halfback has knocked it on at the base.
That's a coach killer, that one.
West was just starting to get a bit of a feel for it, but Thornhill's knocked it on. So we'll get a scrum again.
Definitely some hands on knees, hands on hips going on here. So the Queanbeyan's pace, which they've obviously come out to play through their backs and look to attack, is really starting to work for them. So as James Hagan just calls time off for a little injury here. Just like to thank our sponsors again, Hahn Superdry, Griffin Legal, McDonald's ACT, O'Neill's, Populars, Rourke Projects, PTP, TrueFit and Hill, and of course Bar TV, who all the live streaming will be going through today. Again, if there's any problems with any of the Facebook live streaming, you can pop over onto YouTube and go to Bar TV's site on there and watch the rest of the games. There'll be a lot of awesome footy getting played today, but first up, West will look to claw their way back in, and I tell you what, 10-0, it's very doable with 24 minutes left. They get a bit of roll on and get going. We'll see what happens.
I think you can guarantee it'll go right till the end because, as shown last week, West could have thrown in the towel.
One after the bell, didn't they?
Well, they just kept going, and I'm sure Robarts won't let them take a backward step. He'll be pushing them along all the time.
Exactly, yep.
And I think West, the only team that West have got in the grand final is this fourth grade side, so they'll be keen to make a statement for their club.
Exactly. Oh, what a line by Dan Pencer.
And he's definitely on the treadmill. Truscott's outside.
Oh. Well, maybe he should have come to a couple more trainings. Walkie gets into a bit of a push and shove, but it's a fourth grade push and shove. Sorry, first division, second grade. I'll get in trouble for that one, no doubt. It was a great ball from Dan Hawke.
We've just been told they're not allowed to push and shove. And, everyone's smiling.
What's the footy without a bit of push and shove?
Because the older you get, the crankier you get.
I'll tell you what, Hawkey would probably looking to get McGuinness behind him real quick there too. Particularly big Hawk, but
so we've got a scrum on the 22. West feed. Defensive for them.
Looks like they're actually set up to play here because usually Robinson's obviously the clearance kicker. So
he's not there, is he?
He's got the
Queanbeyan have won the scrum. Can you believe what's happening?
McGuinness has just manhandled the
7. But I can't believe how the scrum's turned around.
Yeah, me either.
In fact, they've taken off a legitimate second rower and put on a flanker.
A bit of push and shove in the background, but McGuinness is taking exception to something. And there is a clear punch.
Oh, that was silly. That's turned ugly. Here. In fact,
there's 2 or 3 punches actually thrown. Frustration boiling over from West.
And McGuinness is pointing to. Anyway, it's still in a very ugly scene here, which is unfortunate.
I think something's happened in the background.
Yes, I think
because he's gotten up in a big rush to run over and push.
Yeah, I think somebody. I was watching the play, didn't see what happened, but somebody
took exception to something, didn't they?
Yes, I think we. Then the headgear, the West's
I wonder if that was number 7, Patrick Bacon, who's throwing that.
He's the only one. If I was him, I'd be taking off my headgear.
Yeah, he threw one in
because he looked to be throwing them. Yeah, but let's not prejudge it.
Yeah, I definitely Oh, I know. I definitely saw a punch from the side from number 21 as well. So, look, this could really hurt West here, where they were looking to come back in the second half.
Not sure what set it off.
Well, I think McGuinness was held down at the bottom of a ruck there, and he's gotten up in a rush to go and shove one of the West players. So I wonder if something's happened to him there, because from the nature of the fella, he's big and physical, but I don't think that was particularly what he would... He doesn't look like he's going for fight. So
no. I think he was just upset about something. But it'll be interesting. This linesman on this side could have got a good look. I don't think the linesman from the other side will have much to say in the matter. But they're having a long conversation.
And I mentioned this early in the first half that we like something. We're two very physical sides that we didn't want to see it boil over, but it's just boiled over here. West probably frustrated that their scrum is going backwards, and they're probably not as dominant in their ball carriage as they wanted to be.
No.
So,
and I was saying the interesting thing for the Queanbeyan scrum is they've moved a flanker into the second row, and the scrum's going better, which seems to be going better.
Yeah.
And the West pack was dominating. I always felt that they would get tied.
It's not always a good indication when there's a long talk with the referees. It seems
he's called out.
Fortunately,
he's called
surely
out,
not your son's either.
No, he's acting captain.
Yeah,
but I'm not sure why they're calling out.
It looks like number
Darmody.
7. He was in the middle of.
Surely not.
Looks like a bit of confusion.
You're joking. Well, that's an interesting thing.
So
hang on, and now McGuinness might be finding his way.
If there was a kick from number 7. It's what he's indicated, and then McGuinness has been red carded. Okay,
so we've now got Tom G. Darmody's got a yellow card. Aaron McGuinness has got a red card.
We hope Aaron is...
It was an indication. McGuinness is disputing, is saying, I have not been involved in anything, and he's going to meet
this doesn't boil over.
McGuinness is telling this is unfortunate here, because
this is very ugly.
McGuinness is not happy with the bloke with the headgear.
So it looks like 7 from Queanbeyan has been yellow carded.
Tom Darmody,
and 8 for punching.
He's gone for a red card.
There's the 7. And the 21.
And Solly. Is it Solly?
They're the two I mentioned. The 7 who I have a feeling. I actually think McGuinness actually bumped the 7 off. Remember, from that back of that scrum, actually. Yeah. And so he's taking exception to it.
They made an indication there that there was a kick involved, but anyway, that's where we are. We've both sides have now got 13 people.
So
both have lost a big fella and a back row.
It's exactly the same, yeah. And I definitely saw the 21 throw a punch.
So
that's
two reds,
a bit silly, but
2 reds, 2 yellows. So we've got 22 minutes to play, and Dan Hawke is off.
Is he off, or is he talking to the touchy here?
No, I'd say they'd replace him because he's got to go and prepare the Colts.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting who's going to 5'8".
I'll tell you what though, the fitness was becoming a problem with 15 men on the bloke. Now it's like 7, so there's going to be more space, a lot more running.
We'll just introduce the 6 tackle rule here and
be a bit nicer.
see how we go. But Queanbeyan got the penalty.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think. Well, does 2 red cards equal? Well, probably more than just a red card and a yellow. So look what they're going to do here. It looks like we can guarantee a big shot here from someone.
And this is where Queanbeyan might be a bit stronger with their replacements.
This is where we might need to be very mindful, because no doubt frustrations.
So I would imagine.
Definitely
how he did
physicality.
Dear, oh dear.
Oh, this is definitely turning, and Dan Pencer is not scared of the tough stuff, so don't worry, he'll run hard all day. Pick and drives here from Queanbeyan, get them close to the line.
So Hawke is off and Michael Doyle is the 5'8".
Okay.
We're on a penalty advantage, 1 metre out.
There's an overlap 3-1 on that side, and a try to Queanbeyan.
Doyle, the replacement 5'8", Doyle, has scored in his first touch of the day.
First touch of the ball. That's a pretty easy way to do it. Come on, avoid the fight, and then score the try. So perhaps sours the game a little bit there, but look, West will be doing very well, put it that way, to fight their way back from this. They might have to bring on some younger, fitter blokes.
It'll be the goal kick is only, well, not quite in front, but it's his easiest kick of the day, and he hasn't been far away. Yeah. So it's Robinson again. So 15-0 with 20 to go.
I'll tell you what, Phil, as well, there's a massive crowd here as well. Look at the side of this. There's all Queanbeyan is
on this
showed up, and then on the far side, West has been feeding them all day, and there's people sitting to the right of us as well. It's awesome to see. So, of course, we'll have as the kick sails over the goal post, and that'll take the score to 17-0. Queanbeyan.
Queanbeyan are actually having a fundraiser barbecue down there just for their own supporters.
Oh, fantastic.
Sockeye Ty, one of his children, has got cancer of the kidney and is in Sydney at the moment, so the club is trying to help support. There is a GoFund page for those who may wish to contribute for Sockeye.
I'd imagine that'd be on the Queanbeyan Facebook side
as well. Yes,
fantastic. So if you can get on there and have a look at that, and any money would be awesome. Soccer Tie, obviously, a long running first grader.
Yeah, both for your club and Queanbeyan.
For Royals and for Queanbeyan, and a well respected and liked player in both clubs. So we hope all the best there for Sock. And as we have a line out, is this a little bit more confusion actually from Hagen here? I wonder what's going on this far side. So he's called a knock on. Okay, so I thought it might have gone into touch, but he's called the knock on. So it'll be scrum feed to West, who may run out of some options here. They've got a full back line, so that's the positive. But it looks like it's going to be 7-man scrums, which is 6-man scrums. That'll be right. Yeah, two fellas off in the packs. We could even see uncontested, as there was a couple of... Well, the West definitely had a front rower go off, and...
I'm not sure.
Looks like they might actually bring Tyson Solly back on, who will probably not like his coach for that. He's probably already having a couple of beers or something to drown the sorrows. But
he actually played for Queanbeyan at some stage, Tyson Solly, when he first came out of school, but I think... he lives out the West Way, which is fair enough. You make it easier for you to train,
if they go to. It is Tyson coming back on.
There was a choice there between as he sprints onto the paddock.
Oh, dynamic as always. Look at that. He'll be too bugging now to back the scrum. No.
He's one of those club funny blokes. He's always having a laugh.
Well, you never know. This scrum could start going forward now.
So neither side have got flankers, I gather.
It kind of looks like West might actually have...
Oh, yeah, they've got a flanker on this side, haven't they?
I wonder what's going on here.
I don't know how they're doing that.
Oh, great footwork through the middle by the 10, Des Fanger.
He's still going.
Still going. I will apologise again for butchering some names today. They've
got an advantage here, and they're on the attack.
Yep. And a big hooker runs up the middle.
He's going to score.
Oh, he's very close. Oh. Big Tony, and you're one of the ones I'll apologise for.
I think they're probably still playing at an advantage. So we've got...
and this is where West are very strong, very close to the line like this.
Held up. Now, will he go back? Is there advantage over?
Yeah, must have been.
He's asking them whether they want the scrum there or go back for the advantage.
Looks like they've taken the scrum. So there you go. There was a great run up the middle by Tony. Oh, you can give that one a go if you'd like. Tony Tuulakitau.
That's it. I think you say it quick and nobody knows.
Have a cough at the end to make as an excuse.
I'm lucky I'm not calling Les Macon.
Yeah, that's true. Les Macon, of course, one of the Queanbeyan Brumbies, who has moved on at the end of this year to chase other footy things from Brumbies rugby.
And has a 40-letter surname.
Yes. Leslie Liao Macon, but I gave that a good shot and probably butchered it. Sorry, Les. And they look to come to the right here. That's actually, I think that's Craig Robertson.
Yeah, that's Craig. No, Craig's back out here at 10.
Yeah, so that would have been in the 9.
No, he's inside the 10. This 10 looks dangerous every time he touches the ball.
It does. Tyson's actually stepped into the halfback, the big fella, so he's sprinted on the paddock, and now he's taking a pick and drive, and probably not really gone anywhere there, but that's all right.
So West are going to go to this one, and then they're going to go left. Robards are setting up.
If this fella doesn't score first, he's big and strong. I actually thought it was Rob.
Here we go. Robart. Oh, he nearly sneaked over. With Wester set on the left.
Oh, he's not going to go through there, unfortunately.
Wester set.
Let's jump back out on your wing, big fella.
They're going to rely on the push and drive.
Oh, they're very close. This is what they're good at.
Held up again. Queanbeyan's defence.
And we mentioned this about them last week, that West tend to come back in the second half. So we're seeing it a little bit here, even with 13 men. It is 13 on 13, so Queanbeyan will have their flanker come back on probably with another couple minutes left in the naughty chair.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens here. It seems a bit... there's definitely...
They're using
seven in this West scrum. So I wonder if they've put... I think they might have taken that. It looks like they've taken... There's no left winger out there. So they might have taken a left winger out and put a flanker on or something like that. So,
just sort of supporting how they play.
Exactly,
they pick and drive.
Probably gone the wrong way there too.
Oh, he's got to be close. No.
Yeah.
So here we are. West are doing their
typical game.
Typical footy, and I think they have scored.
And it's worked. So
and I think that was Tony.
Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, he's getting up. Tony has gotten up with the
just to make it more difficult for us. Tony Tuulakitau.
We'll call it that. That'll work. And again,
so
I'm going to apologise now because he's a scary looking bloke. So please don't come after me for mispronouncing your last name, mate. Well, don't call it a comeback then, eh? Well,
17-5. There's 14 minutes to go.
As West look to bring on another replacement.
If they convert... Oh, he looks pretty handy, doesn't he? He's a big fella, and he can run.
He's run all the way out for the...
6.
Yep, for the 6 to get the tap, and he's ready to go.
I'm sure that there will be some substitutes, given that the 13 blokes are trying to hang on.
I'll tell you what, an old fella, number 18's coming out for West too, and he... I saw him walk. I could have sworn I saw him walking around with a beer before the game, but I'll keep that to myself.
He has not kicked it, so it doesn't make things easier. I don't think Robards kicked the last goal last week, did he?
No.
From what I can remember, they had another kicker, but I can't remember who it was.
I could be wrong, but it could have been Stephen Moser, actually.
Yes, it was, yeah.
So...
I don't know, Robbo reckons he's going to play again next year, even though he's given up the coaching. I think I might be...
he's had a good stint as a coach, though, hasn't he?
Oh, yes, he's been...
he's done pretty well.
I think he's got the Brumby Runners team, or what? No, not the Runners team. What do they call it?
The Griffins, perhaps?
Yeah, I think he's got the Griffins.
Sure. Oh. Okay, so that's gone bounce and then gone out, so that'll be a line out.
Yeah, I think he's head coach of the Griffins.
You could be right, mate. I'm not quite sure. So
no, I'm not sure either.
I'll take your word for it.
He's certainly involved somehow with the Griffins. They've got 3 or 4 games to play, which is good. Gives that, nearly the third tier of footballers a bit of a chance.
And Cochrane goes through a little step. He's a steppy fella, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. He is the coach of this side as well.
Captain, coach, everything, eh?
And what all you need to coach is a phone. Because half the trouble is rounding them up.
Oh, what? Well, West look to be on the ball pretty well there. Oh. So the tackler looks like he's called. The tackler has not come through the gate and has kind of assisted the.
So what are we going to do? We're going to have a shot
there in the number 10, who's stepped up the last couple of minutes. The number 10 for.
He has. He's played very well. He's played very well this second half. So Robinson's going to have a shot from the 22.
It's probably directly into the wind too, you'd say. So you might have to put a bit behind this.
He's not the biggest bloke either.
Yeah.
And now Kerr's back on the. No, who's that back on the paddock?
That the yellow card returning, I think it is.
Oh, that's Tom D. Darmody.
Yeah, Tom Darmody.
He's back on the paddock from the yellow card, so they should have
14 on 13, I'd imagine. Probably a good bit of. Oh, there's a bit of sledging from the sideline. We'll call it that.
The Water boys have been very slow with the kicking tee.
Yeah, probably a bit of a tactical move to take a bit off the clock, but
it'll probably be only 9 minutes after this kick.
Yeah,
with Queanbeyan leading 17-5. Tries by Gordon Donahoe, Dan Pencer, both scored tries, and then the replacement 5'8" Doyle. 3 tries, and Robinson has kicked only 1 conversion and has just missed the penalty.
And as I mentioned, the wind there probably playing havoc with that kick. And West probably, you'd imagine they want the ball back, and they've kicked it quite long, and Pencer will charge this up, no doubt.
Someone's going to have to volunteer to tackle him.
Yeah, not me, thanks. He's actually done pretty well, but then they've actually... Well, I would have said there was a bit of a pilfer there to get the ball back there, but they've called a knock-on from Pencer, so he'll be kicking himself, but...
The West crowd had agreed with that decision.
yeah, exactly. Pencer will probably put on a big hit or steal the ball here in a second to make up for that, so not too worried about that, but...
I can't work out...
So, West Scrum about on the 45-metre line in their own half. Like we said, Des Fagafa is standing at 10, probably look to get the ball in his hands, and maybe Alex McNamara as well, who've been a bit quiet in the second half.
Well, they haven't had the same scrum dominance.
Yeah.
Now what's he?
Bit of a high tackle.
High tackle, yep. And Robarts kicks to get, so they'll come back for the penalty.
Yeah. And someone's gone down. It looks like a bit of cramp here.
I'd say that'd be John O'Murphy.
And just a good.
I'd say they'd be looking to. He should be replaced, I think.
And pretty good sportsmanship from both Des Fagafa and Alex McNamara. Just checking if he was okay there. So even though there was no love lost a couple of minutes ago with a bit of a blue, still recognise that it's all footy going on here. So it's a great thing about rugby. You can punch a bloke on the field and have a beer with him after.
Yeah.
Even though you don't want to do that, but. And yes, looks like we've called time off here for this injury to number 6, John Murphy, is it?
Yeah, John, he's gone.
Yeah, okay.
So can't see anyone warming up at this stage.
So it looks like there's definitely no.
West are clapping him off with some.
They're trying to urge him to get off a bit quicker so they can get going again. But I guarantee if they were out there and hurt themselves, they probably want to take their time too. So, all right, time's back on. West probably don't realise that it's on the ref's clock either. And I'd love to call it a dynamic and different lineup, but they've gone to the front pretty much every time we've watched them. So. We'll see if
the Whites have knocked it out. So they must have brought on a replacement. At this stage, I can't tell you who it is, but won't be a moment.
Not quite sure. I wonder if they've brought the first try scorer back on the field. I've forgotten his name again.
Gordon.
Yeah. I wonder if he's come back on for that one.
Yes. I think you're right, because Tangy Main has taken up his position in the front row. He's just putting it on his
headgear. There you go.
Tangy was in the starting lineup, but arrived 2 minutes before kickoff.
That's one thing I always found funny with this division, the fact they have to kick off so early. So many blokes.
And you can imagine, like...
playing at the same time as under 8, so they're probably getting a bit frustrated with it, but that's all right.
So Tungy was a bit late and ended up finding himself on the bench.
And the West scrum has found that dominance. I wonder if this is Tyson Soley doing the work through there. And Cochrane steps...
Oh, and he's dropped the ball again.
The ball cold.
But meanwhile, the clock is being chewed up.
West will want to get on with the game here. And
they'll want to score again very shortly to make... Like, if they could get to 17-12, they'd be
on. They'd
be on then.
Well, they need to run away here, is what we're saying. Basically, they need to score within the next couple of minutes, and then they can look to play for the rest of the half. Of course, with 13 men, we got to remember that.
So Pence is defending at 5'8".
Yep.
With Kerr
and
at the inside centre.
Outside centre, is it?
And they've got the 5'8" Doyle at the outside centre. And young Truscott, who's not... and they could be on here a little bit if they play it in the right ways. And the young winger makes a good tackle on this close side. McNamara tries to take him out, and it's physical as it could be. He might have hurt himself there.
Yeah. He's tough, though. Pencer throws an intercept offload, and West could be...
That bloke read that very well.
Well controlled there by the ref, James Hagan. Let's play continue through the midfield. Looks like there might have been a little bit of steal. He looked like he got onto the ball. A bit of an interesting call there.
Yeah, I nearly thought West had that, but...
Yeah.
Big Solly's just got a crane to get him up off the ground.
Yeah. Might need to take up some CrossFit, like
him and McGuinness can meet at CrossFit. That'll be an interesting discussion.
Exactly.
Right, so there's only 4 minutes to play. Queanbeyan have got a line out. They're about 25 metres out on the attacking zone.
Yep.
They've got Gordon out in the centres, probably to do a bash up and then maybe work from that. But when you've got Pencer there, anything can happen.
Exactly. And Cochrane has taken it on himself and has been landed on by Tyson, which will...
not help.
He probably won't be able to breathe there for a minute, but he looks all right. Yeah.
Here comes Tom G. Darmody, back on after his stint in the naughty chair.
And Tyson's helped up Cochrane in a good
and
show
here's
of
Pencer again.
sportsmanship.
You'd nearly say Pencer's played a dominating role today.
Yeah. Good little inside ball. Good little bit of interplay through the forwards there. Gets the ball to number 1. Actually, that might not be who I think it is. Good tackle by Tony on number 4.
They're getting a bit of a thing here.
Eddie Atuitai.
That's Jason Rangi
on here for sure.
And they've got...
West will have to roll away here, not to be penalised.
There's plenty of room. That's one thing with 13 people.
Yeah.
They've got a penalty. I would imagine they'll take the shot.
Yeah. Look, a good show of sportsmanship there between number 17, just picking up he's number 10 opposite Des Fargafar. So you imagine Queanbeyan have take the shot and have this one pretty much in the bag, I'd say. Oh, they might be going for a tap.
Cochrane looks like he's going to tap and go.
Okay.
I find that a bit... Anyway, that's all right.
Always completely to bed, maybe.
Yeah. I'll say that and I'll score. That's...
Well, maybe we don't say anything about that one.
Yeah, we won't say anything about that. The scoreboard's gone blank.
It has too. Oh, that's all right. 17-5 to Queanbeyan with probably about a minute to go.
Not long now. Queanbeyan finished second after the rounds, and then Royals were top of the table.
Royals actually went out in straight sets too.
Queanbeyan put 46 points on him in that that early elimination. No, it wasn't an elimination qualifying final. But they were missing a lot of players apparently.
Yeah, Royals had a lot of injuries late in this season to the veteran players, and were playing with a lot of young
good
fellas.
ball.
The great ball goes over the top.
That's a try to. His name's Toby Allen, and
that just about seals it for Queanbeyan.
I think so for sure.
Yeah,
that was a good ball.
So, mate, another premiership here for Queanbeyan in 4th grade. You imagine there'll be a couple of soft drinks getting handed around tonight?
Yes.
Well, these fellas will be hanging around, of course, for Colts, who are kicking off on the main field here at Viking Park, but not too long.
So that's a good story for Toby Allen, because he is one of those blokes who is often on the bench.
Yep.
And just gets some game time, and then for him to score a try.
Good try too.
In the grand final. That's pretty good.
It's well worked. Very, very good from them. And the miss kick, that might have been Cochrane, and that's full time.
That's it.
In 1st Division 2nd grade, Queanbeyan have beaten West 22-5 in what was a different kind of game. It was an interesting game in sections, and then also a battling game. There's definitely a couple of trainings missed, I'd imagine, throughout the season. The skill set maybe wasn't there, but that's all right.
It sort of changed around a bit. But
it did.
They were shared the scrums.
Exactly.
They're now all shaking hands and giving each other a cuddle. So
there you go.
All is forgotten. I don't think McGuinness is forgotten, but
hopefully he walks out and shakes everyone's hand, as is the nature of rugby union. We're mates as soon as the game's over. But Phil, have to thank you for joining me on commentary.
Look, Luke, it's been a pleasure.
You've been awesome, giving us lots of details about all these players from Queanbeyan and from West, and you'll no doubt be sticking around for the Colts game.
Have an appointment over at the other ground.
Well, awesome. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks very much.
And just before we sign off for the next game, we'll be kicking off at 11:25, and that game is against the Goulburn Dirty Reds and Gungahlin Eagles. That'll be a very interesting game, as Goulburn has fought their way all the way into this final, beating last year's defending champions ADFA last week in an absolute nail-biter with some great skills, and we will be seeing them in action before long. Just like to thank our sponsors once again: Hahn Superdry, Griffin Legal, McDonald's ACT, O'Neill's, Poplars, Rourke Projects, PTP, and True Fit and Hill. Hopefully you can cry him down there, Phil, off the scaffolding. He said he's old, but his heart's not there. Might have to, as he clambers down off the side, we'll let you know if he makes it. Hopefully he does. Great dismount. Well done, Phil. So make sure you stick with us here. And again, if anything happens to the Facebook live streaming, make sure you can jump over onto YouTube and watch through Bar TV. We'll be having games going on all day on Field 1 and Field 2. The next game, of course, is the Dirty Reds from Goulburn taking on the Gungahlin Eagles in 1st Division, 1st grade. And then after that, the Women's Rugby Grand Final, 15-a-side. The Canberra Royals, will be taking on Uni North Owls in what will be an awesome game. And then on Field 1 in Colts kicking off. Actually not sure what time the kickoff for that one is. You'll have to check that. It'll be all live streamed, of course. Be Queanbeyan taking on Canberra Royals. And then in 2nd grade, of course, Queanbeyan taking on Gungahlin. And then in 1st grade, the big dance, Royals taking on Vikings at 3:15. If you're not up to anything today, make sure you come down to Viking Park and get around some awesome club rugby. We'll be back before long with the next game.
Hi, how's it going?
Good.
Good. I'm Rachel. I'm here to help out.
Oh, they're doing the commentating? Oh, awesome. I'm Luke. How you going?
Lovely to meet you. Up the ladder?
I chucked the chair down to the side before and let him.
And just back down to 0.
Okay.
Cheers.
sound check. Testing 1 2 testing. Let's do one for you.
Testing.
Sweet. Hello and welcome back to the finals day here at Viking Park. The next game up, kicking off in a couple of minutes, will be the Goulburn Dirty Reds taking on Gungahlin Eagles in what should be a cracking game in First Division, First Grade. Just before we kick off, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Hahn Superdry, Griffin Legal, McDonald's ACT, O'Neill's, Poplars, Rourke Projects, PTP and True Fit and Hill. Should be a cracking contest here. I'm joined in commentary here with Rachel Warwick. Rachel, how you going today?
Brilliant. It's great weather, isn't it?
Yeah, looking forward to a really good matchup. And of course, you're from Gungahlin, went to Darramarlin College, and there should be a couple of good players running around for Gungahlin today.
I would think so.
Anyone you're looking out for in particular that'd be to really lead their team around the park today?
I would definitely say that they've got heaps of first grade experience, and it would be really good to see some of their veterans out on the field and showing their leadership.
Veterans, meaning the fellas who can't run very well anymore, the old fellas who are now playing third grade. Okay, so in the team list, we've had a couple of late changes for Gungahlin, so I'll quickly read over those. At loose head prop, Chris Grierson. At hooker, James McGimsey. Tight head prop, Ben Stewart. In the second row, Andrew Gibson and Mitchell Colbert. At number 6, Toby Efflick. Open side flanker, Matthew Vernon. At number 8, Kane Broderick. At number 9, Sean Conakey. 10, Matthew Power, great name. On one wing, Tom Scott. At inside centre, Michaels Nicholas. And the other centre partner, Aramasi Kelly. And then on the wing, Johnny Power, and at full, Jai Conakey. The Conakeys, Sean and Jai related?
Yeah, brothers.
There you go. All right. So this is why I need you, otherwise I would have no idea. Yeah. And the interesting story is the Goulburn Dirty Reds, who will be running out in a second. They've got a good crowd contingent that's come down from Goulburn today. Come watch them play. They've had, I'll call it a battle into the finals. They had to win every game in order to get to the finals. So it'll be a very interesting contest, this one. And their team list, number 1, Boyd Newby. At hooker, Lewin Davies. Number 3, Bradley Mudderman. At number 4, Nick Tabner. Number 5, Jordan Wilcox. At blindside flanker, Bradley Clements. Number 7, Benjamin Cheatham. At number 8, Michael Webber. Number 9, Jackson Reardon. Number 10, Aidan Greaves. And one wing, Matthew Spratley. And Ben Todcool at inside centre, Alec Palmer at outside centre. Jordan Lee's up and coming, who won an award for the ACT Southern States emerging player on Wednesday, is on one wing, a big fella, and Adam Lachlan at fullback with all the pace. Our referee today will be Reece Hemshaw, and his ARs are Graham Billett and Damien McLaughlin, as Goulburn Reds look to take the field. And traffic has to stop as they run out. Some big fellas on this side, isn't there, Rachel?
Yeah, definitely. They're looking very composed.
They've got a great little skill set. I don't know if you got out to watch any footy the last couple of weeks, but where they'll struggle today, no doubt, is against a big pack for Gungahlin, which will have the scrum going forward for sure. So they beat last week. They beat ADFA, which was last year's defending champions. So we'll look to see them probably use the skill set and use the ball, as no doubt this Gungahlin side will be a lot bigger.
Yeah. No, I definitely think it'll be a hard game.
Yeah. The weather has turned it on for us. It's a little bit windy, probably.
Yeah, a little bit.
Wind's probably taking to... Well, it's hard to say. It's probably swirling around a little bit. It's getting me cold up here in the commentary. As Gungahlin take the field, and a bit of an old school shaking of hands at the start of the game.
Beautiful.
Goulburn bringing them back, no doubt. There's some great signs. In Dirty Reds, that's a great name for a club. It's
beautiful. Great sign.
Beautiful, yeah, sure. We'll call it beautiful, as Rachel says, but I'm going to say it's a little bit brave to call yourself the Dirty Reds, so no, good on them. And it looks like Goulburn has won the kick, the toss, so they'll look to elect to kick. And as I mentioned, there's some really good strike power in this Goulburn side, with the left winger Jordan Rees being not only a big fella moving from fullback to the wing, but also very, very fast and dynamic. There's a couple of kids running across the field to get them off. We'll mention as well, if anything happens with the Facebook site today, feel free to jump over onto YouTube to watch the rest of the game. as Goulburn kicks us underway and kicks the ball out on the full. So it's probably not the start they were looking for, but Wynn may be playing havoc with that one there. So we'll look to get underway with the scrum. This will be a big battle today between the scrums of Gungahlin and Goulburn. This is probably where Goulburn's weakness has been over the last couple of weeks. They've been going backwards on a lot of scrums. So we'll have to see what happens here. But what position did you play when you were playing, Rachel?
I played in the forwards because, we had quite a small team.
Yep.
Most of the games, I think, were supposed to be 10s, but ended up, playing 7s and things like that.
Yep.
Just because of numbers. But, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. You'll be able to help me out with a little bit with the forwards then. So you see the first... Do you know anything about scrums or much about scrums? We'll see.
Most of ours were uncontested, actually. So, no.
Well, that could happen in this game if a couple of the old fellas get tired and decide to have a break. Mm-hmm. Been really surprised with the skill set and the level of rugby throughout these this level of competition.
Definitely.
A lot of people say obviously it's technically third grade as it is the third grade in the competition, but it's first division for both of these sides. First division, first grade. So Goulburn comes along with another fella. Beeping the horn, and as I mentioned, the scrum for Gungahlin absolutely marching over the top of Goulburn there. So this is probably
setting the tone.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. So one of the standout players also that I half mentioned for the last couple of weeks has moved from the second row to number 7, Benjamin Cheatham. He has been, without a doubt, the most physical ball running and most excitement factor for this Goulburn side. He's in the black headgear over there with the green strap around it, so look to see him getting involved in the games. Gungahlin goes to the line out, and a bit of an overthrow and lost forward by Gungahlin there. So we'll look to have another scrum here. I mean, I'd hate to say Wynn. Well, I don't think Wynn's really paying much of a factor, but we'll see what happens with that one. So yeah. Do you know much about this number 13 from Gungahlin? Rachel, he's a big fella, isn't he? Massey Kelly, that's the fella, isn't he?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think he's known by his teammates here as Massey.
Massey, okay, that'll be easier for me. I'll apologise now for any names I mispronounce or anything like that, because I'll no doubt get a couple wrong.
Yeah, no, apparently, he's definitely hard to bring down.
Yeah, I can see that from here for sure.
Yeah, but no, I think he's a pinnacle in the team.
Yep. We've got a car alarm going off. It's all going
cars
on.
Going off today. It was definitely hard to find a spot.
Yeah, no doubt. It's been packed out here at Viking Park, which is great to see.
Yeah, everyone's out.
Yeah. As Gungahlin got the penalty from that scrum. Gungahlin got the penalty there, and a kick to the corner, so they'll look to see what they do here. It's a good line out, and they'll go to the drive. Keep it quite tight here. Start rumbling up. The body height's a bit high at the back there, but they'll look to move it forward, probably 5 metres out now. And this is where got penalty advantage for swimming there, and Gungahlin to breaks till getting very close to the line.
Yeah, right
look to
there.
recycle the ball. And definitely offside there from Goulburn's number 10, but they've pushed him over the line and it's held up. Reece Henshaw has said that it's held up, but they've got a penalty advantage. It looks like he called them in the side at the maul. So you'd probably think they go back to the scrum here. No doubt.
It looks like it.
Yeah, they'll look to go back to the scrum because it'll get them on the front foot, you'd hope. And then they look to play off that. There's a big, like I said, it's a big backline for Gungahlin.
Yeah.
Gungahlin, of course, beating Adfa to make it into this grand final last year's premiers in what was a very tightly contested battle. And once again, it was probably as the scrum marches forward. This is where it'll be won or lost, I'd say, and it's a cliche, but won or lost up front.
They're really fighting for it.
Yeah, they've done quite well actually.
Yeah.
Goulburn. Goulburn. I'll get those two wrong all day.
You will do.
And body height there was a big problem. It was a great defence by Goulburn. As the supporters are standing here in front of us. And they look to go to the pick and drive, but again, what's going to be their strength. So it'll be interesting to see as the body height again get caught a little bit high. Looks like the captain for Goulburn is on that ball, but Reece is going to let the ball play on and go to that pick and drive again. Very, very close, and they look like they might be over there, but yeah, he's awarded the try. So first points of the grand final going to the Gungahlin Eagles makes it 4-0 after about 5 minutes of play. It's been, well, it's all from the kickoff then, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they kick it out in the
Definitely.
full and it comes back to the scrum. They get a penalty from the scrum and then they get their roll on. So
Yep.
it'll be definitely interesting to see how Goulburn's going to match that physicality in the forward pack.
Yep.
You'd hope they do. And one of the ways they can do that, for sure, is actually just keep the ball in their hands. If they keep the ball in their hands, then just run around this Gungahlin pack, then that might tire them out and therefore weaken them at scrum time. But we'll see what happens with that for sure. As you line up the kick, I'll tell you...
Tom Scott.
Tom Scott, is that Tom Scott? Okay,
Yep.
that's Tom Scott. He was actually really good
conversion.
a couple of weeks ago, Tom Scott.
Yeah, he's a great kick.
Yeah.
He's still quite young.
Okay.
Played a lot of Colts. And, yeah, great kick.
Yeah, right. What do you think of the hairdo? Has he got a perm?
It looks like it, doesn't it? It's kind of iconic for him, I would think.
Yeah, it's Napoleon Dynamite. I'm going to call him first. No, I don't want to get in any trouble there.
Sure, he's heard it before.
And Gungahlin looks to play out of their half with a questionable offload thrown by number 4. That's Andrew Gibson. Halfback looks to shift it and plays to the back, and that is that man, Tom Scott, who gets a nice kick away all the way to the fullback, who's got a lot of speed, this Adam Lachlan. And looks to play back down the other end with actually a very good nudge if it sits. And it is bounced and
Great
gone
kick.
out. It was a great kick, wasn't it? You got the Goulburn supporters in front of us here. Ash Cara leading everybody around. And hopefully hear them loud and proud today for Goulburn. All right, we'll have a line out about on the 22 here. Gungahlin to throw. He's got a great beard, your hooker. He's great beard.
Yeah.
Chris Gearson. Mm-hmm. I'm probably saying that wrong, aren't I? I don't know. We'll see it wrong.
Grayson.
Grierson. Oh, you
Yeah.
nailed it. Oh, the physicality there. But we'll know these Goulburn fellas will bounce back straight up. Tough country fellas.
Yeah.
He's done well. Number 10 there. That's Andrew Greaves. Get through the middle. And they look to shift the ball and some great physical contact. And he's called him there maybe for a bit of a head-high tackle. Little chip and chase. Going to no avail. Come back for the penalty here. We'll see what his signal is. He's called time off for an injury. Here to number 7 from Gungahlin. That is Matthew Vernon. Yeah.
Yep.
Looks to be in a fair bit of pain. Hopefully, as I mentioned, these Goulburn fellas have been in absolute wars the last couple of weeks in terms of the games they've been playing, but they are as tough as nails. Missing their number 7 from last week, unfortunately. So that's why they've had to make a bit of a shuffle in that forward pack. It may be affecting it a little bit, but we'll see what happens. They could almost see how big that Jordan Lee's on the far side, the number 11. You could almost put him in the second row, couldn't you?
Yeah. Or on the basketball court.
He's a tall fella. He's got
Yeah.
pace to burn as well. Reports are that he'll be looking to move overseas perhaps next year. To play some rugby overseas, but we'll see what happens. The way he's been playing, he definitely will be missed by this Goulburn side. As he gets up it is number 7,
Yeah.
Matthew Vernon. So we hope he's okay. He got up very gingerly. May have got a little bit of a head knock there, but bit of a loss for that Gungahlin side, that's for sure. So, all right, and time is back on. Yes, it was a high tackle, so my prediction was correct. Yes. I'll be saying his name all day, so I better remember it. Tom Scott kicks the ball down to about the 40-metre line. Will you be sticking around for all the games today too, Rachel?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think
Who are you
most-
backing in the big one? The Royals versus Vikings. Remember, I'm from Royals, so you better be
I
careful here.
I would say, yeah, maybe the Royals.
Maybe the Royals are. She's just saying that because I'm sitting here.
Maybe I am. Yeah.
And good shape. They play to that big man. I'm going to call him Massey Calais. Look to shift back to the right, and they come through. Big number 4, that is Andrew Gibson with a good strong carry up through the middle, but it's stripped off him. And that ball is touched on the kick, half charge down, and it's great chase, puts him onside. And that's a great tackle
Big
from him as
chase.
well. But he goes up and gets up and goes again. Thomas Scott, he's done pretty well to clean that up and Goulburn flood that breakdown. And will look to clear or step their way out of their own half. Some good play going on down that far end, and they look to charge it up. Yeah, a little bit of a scuffle breaking out there. That was a bit of interesting. He just didn't look like he knew what to do with that, the ball then. Gungahlin just need to clear their own line here, otherwise they'll be playing some dodgy footy. I can tell you the captain, I believe he's the captain, number 8 for Goulburn, is standing in front of us, and he is a big man. So look to him. They'll be looking to get him the ball as often as they can, no doubt. So Gungahlin will have the line out about 30 metres out from Gungahlin's line. And you'd imagine they'd want to get some of their strike power, which is out in the backs, in the game. And one at the front there. Looks like they got a knock-on advantage. Oh, what do they look to play here? Looks like they're going to go for a little pick and drive into a brick wall. They'll look to shift here. That's big number 5, Jordan Wilcox. I actually believe Jordan might be the captain. I might have butchered that one. Go play, and this is the fella I was talking about, who is very hard to put down, and he proves me right through. Unlucky to lose the ball, but he has a never go down kind of attitude, does Benjamin Cheatham. I believe they call him Mullet. I was talking to the Goulburn coach last week. Apparently he rocked up to Goulburn. He's a school teacher, and apparently he rocked up with a big long hairdo and big beard. He looked like a hipster, and then he's cut it all off and into a mullet, and he's got rid of that since then, but he's kept the nickname. So I don't know which I prefer, the actual mullet or a nickname. I'm not sure yet, but he's a very elusive player, so we'll see how he goes for the rest of the day. That was a unfortunate run, and they've actually come back for the knock on at the line out too, so Goulburn keeps the ball, so no penalty there, which was good. They will be looking here. They need to just get the ball in and out, Goulburn, because this is where they'll want to avoid the whole game, this guy right here. As they look to repack here. And as the scrum gets ready to pack down another time. You'd hope they'd get it in and out in Goulburn and just look to play, but like I mentioned, the Gungahlin scrum absolutely, really strong, isn't it? They kick the ball, and the fullback for Goulburn takes it up through the middle. He looks almost held up, but he fights his way to the ground, and they look to shift, and there's a nice little pick and drive. A bit of space out to the left here. They look to shift again. Ball goes to Jordan Lees, that man I've talked up, and look. And he's done exactly what I mentioned. Ran big and hard. Feeling like a genie because all my things that come off. That was definitely high. And I think he's actually even... They've definitely got a penalty advantage. And this is where Goulburn will be the big difference here is when they can shift the ball, they'll have all the effect. Look like they're on the ball pretty well there, so he might come back to the penalty. So he's having a bit of a chat to him here. I wonder what this is about here.
I was having a chat to Matt this morning.
Okay, so he's gotten them for leaving their feet. I believe he had 2 advantages. The first one for a high tackle by one of the centres from Gungahlin on that man, number 4, Benjamin Cheatham. We'll call him Mullet. And then he's called time off, so he might have a chat here to the captain from Gungahlin. Yeah, so just wording him up just to be careful, because obviously we had a bit of a blue in the last game. Actually, were you here for that one?
I wasn't here for that one.
Okay, they had a bit of a blue in the last game, unfortunately, a bunch of red cards, which is a bit of a shame. But Queanbeyan got up in the end anyway, 22-5 to be grand final winners. He actually might have been checking him out for any kind of concussion symptoms or anything like that, but he looks to be fine. Might have got a cut just above the eye or something like that. And it's been a bit of a slow pace the last couple of minutes, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit stop and start.
Yeah, very stop and start. Hopefully Yeah, hopefully they look to get going, and there's that big number 8 standing for Goulburn just at the first receiver spot, so they'll look to get him in the game. Okay, I see where they're all looking now. There's a bit of treatment in the middle of the field for...
Probably something similar, like an eyebrow or something.
Actually, yeah, I wonder where they might have had a head clash, those two, because it is Benjamin Cheatham, so I wonder if they had a head clash and that big collision in the middle there, so they might have both come off worse for wear, but Mullet is very strong, we all know that, and he's a tough country fella, so he'll just keep playing no matter what. And I won't say anything about that kick, because it's probably not exactly where he was aiming, but... Okay. Goulburn with the ball now on about the 30-metre line with a line out. Gungahlin is very, very well set in this line out, so they'll look to have to either get some trick plays. They've won it. It's not pretty. And...
doesn't really go anywhere.
Yeah, it didn't really go anywhere at all. And they've given it to their big prop, who... I'll have to admit hasn't really gone anywhere either. Now this is a big fellow who's got the very good frame. He's been taken pretty well. Goulburn, I've said Gungahlin, how's that? And this is that man Benjamin Cheatham. He's run pretty high though, so he'll have to fight his way to the ground, which he's done pretty well. And they look to shift out to the left, and it goes to the centre. Number 12, they've shifted it well, but a good tackle from his number 15 from Gungahlin, Jai Koniki. And Goulburn looking to play with the ball, which is pretty wise considering the size of this Gungahlin pack. They come again to the left on another short line by number 6. That is Brendan Clements. Bradley Clements, my bad. Ash Kara correcting me there. Well done, Ash. And another physicality coming through the middle there. Goulburn showing up in numbers today, support their team. Run back through, and he's in absolutely hammered there, but he'll get up. Another tough man. And they look to get big number 3 in the game there. He's done pretty well, Bradley Moneyman. Again, I'll apologise if I butcher any of the names. And that's Michael Webber taking up through the left-hand side. They come back to this side, Jordan Lease on a bit of a dummy line, and that is that man Benjamin Cheatham. And he just has a never-go-down attitude, does he? He just keeps fighting for absolutely every inch, which is what you want out of your number 7. And they've come back to the left. Oh, and just hit the referee. I don't know if it fouled him or not, but they'll get the scrum, which is probably not what they wanted with the scrum the way it's going. They probably would have preferred that to go to hand and keep playing. So hopefully they can get the ball in and get it out and play, because... and look, we've got another stop. So this is a very stop-start for the start of this game. While we've got this stoppage, might just mention again that we'll have games going on all day here at Viking Park. Luke Kimber along with Rachel Warwick calling this game for you in First Division, First Grade in the Grand Final. Games after this one, kicking off at 1:15, will be the Women's Grand Final. The Canberra Royals versus Uni North Owls. It should be a great contest for those two teams. As the scrum packs down on the 5-metre line. I don't know, Rachel. This will be a bit of a dodgy one, this one here. And ball was at the back. Definitely don't want resets. Otherwise, it could be a long day. I've been really impressed with the skill set of this Goulburn team, though.
Yeah.
The ability to keep the ball in hand and shift it has been second to none. So look how we go here. Here's the scrum repacks. So it's almost gotten warm now, hasn't it?
Yeah, the sun's really...
Wind's died off a little bit. Yeah, and they've...
picked up by Eagles.
Yeah. You see what happened there? They looked like they might have lost the ball at the back of the scrum, Goulburn, which is unfortunate.
That's what it looks like.
That man, Thomas Scott, clears away, and it is an absolute massive shoe. I tell you what, it's going to sound bad to me, but he doesn't look like much Tom Scott, but then he can kick and run and do everything you need to do.
Yep, he's everywhere.
Yeah, definitely relieve some pressure there. So Goulburn good win at the line out there. They look to shift it to the midfield, and that is Michael Webber. Shifted back to the blind side, and this is their captain, number 5, Jordan Wilcox, with a good carry up through the middle. Come back to this side, and you almost can't blame him for that, because he just had a carry and got up and had another carry, but they were offside, so they've got a penalty, and the Goulburn crowd cheers on in front of us. It's almost in front of the post, so you imagine being finals, maybe they'll take the points, but no, it looks like they're going to tap and go. Probably wise considering their set pieces, and is probably going to struggle all day, so looks to shift it back to the left, and that is Bradley Clements with a good carry up through the middle. Gungahlin looked to be on that ball, very lucky for Goulburn. The inside centre takes the ball and runs pretty well. Ben Todcool. Very good run. Nickname Toddy I heard thrown out just then, so I might use that for the rest of the game. Number 13, Alec Palmer, takes a good little carry up the right-hand side, and they look to shift it back to the left. Number 10 takes it. Good little dummy. Good body height to secure that ball. 10 gets the ball again, shifts it again, and they've on here. Oh, great defence on the far side by number 10, I believe it is, Matt Power. The best name in the comp. And they come back to this way to Mullet. And there he is again. He doesn't look like much, but he will take a lot to put down. They come back to this side, which is probably wise, because Jordan Lees is out this way. He gets very close to the sideline. Manages to stay in. Halfback scoots blindside again. Managed to stay in as well. Looks like a knock-on, but they have a penalty advantage. Looks like a head-high tackle and a yellow card. A head-high tackle and a yellow card. That looks like the number... He's put his hand up in apology. I wonder who it is. It looks like it might be the blindside winger, number 14, Johnny Power. And that's not Power, that's Power. Maybe not. Yes, it is Johnny Power. So he's been yellow carded. I think the halfback scooted on the blind side there and got taken in a high tackle, a desperate tackle by Johnny Power. So he'll spend 10 minutes in the naughty chair, which is... and then Goulburn have won that in a not particularly great fashion. But they're definitely on this side. If they can shift the ball, that's unfortunate. They look like they've got a knock-on advantage, so... Yeah, so they'll come back for the knock-on, and it looks like in the tackle. So perhaps not intentional, so just a scrum. So once again, Goulburn seemingly kind of camped down in this Gungahlin half, aren't they? So,
definitely putting the pressure on.
Yeah, hopefully they can convert this pressure into points, which is probably why I mentioned they wouldn't have been too unwise to take the 3, but I suppose they feel like they've been down here so long now they need to get a try to make it worthwhile. There'll definitely be space for Jordan Lees now on this left-hand side with his opposite number being yellow carded, so look to them to get the ball in and out as quick as they can and come to the left. And Gungahlin gets a penalty at scrum time. This will just be an absolute... I want to be positive, but it will be a problem area for Goulburn all day. It was last week against Adfa. It was the week before as well. Where the difference here will be is the skill set in Goulburn's side. If they can hold the ball and shift it and get it to their attacking weapons, then maybe they have a bit more of a shot. The more of this set-piece battle they get into, the more they're going to lose. And looks like Reece Henshaw is having a bit of a chat to one of the Goulburn props here, basically saying, I would imagine, if you don't keep it up, you'll be sitting in the chair with old mate. Intricacies of scrum time can be discussed at a later date. I won't ask you because it'll be we'll both get a headache trying to work it out.
Yeah.
We'll just say the big fellas need to push and stay up. And that's coming right for us. Hopefully misses us. And it's hit a car. That's all right. Yeah. It's been a pretty good clearance here, and the Goulburn crowd is getting up for now. And then the Goulburn crowd has been very vocal, which is what you want to hear for their team. They need to get behind them here today. It's a good carry through the midfield by Gungahlin. They look to shift to the right. It's a good ball and gives it out to Marcy Calais. He gets kind of held up, but it fights his way to ground. A good counter coming in from, that was Mullet, I believe. Little box kick goes over the top and out on the full. Maybe that was touched. Yes, it was touched. So half charge down touch. And of course, it was kicked out on the full, which means they would normally come back. But because it was charged down, it's deemed to, it's been a break in it. So that's why the line out is where it is. And line out gets another, Gungahlin gets another good line out. And they shift it to the midfield with a big carry through the middle. A missed tackle there. But they look to be on the ball pretty well there. Just didn't survive the clean out for long enough. And number 10, Aidan Greaves, takes it forward for Gungahlin. And they shift it to that man, Marcy Karevi, gets a good offload. And that number 18, I'm not sure who that is actually. Might be a replacement for the number 7 who's come on. Maybe Rachel will be able to find who that is. You know who that is, Rachel?
It's Jefferson.
Yeah.
Let me check.
Number 18.
18? Yep, Peter Jefferson.
Okay, Peter Jackson. So he's come on for a bit of a replacement. Someone's lost a shirt, I believe, or something in the middle there.
Yeah,
don't know what that is.
Not sure what it is.
And Gungahlin look to roll and rumble and use their big men. But this is a
they're right
battling...
there on the line.
Yeah, probably just a metre or so out. And they look to pick and drive and keep going up through the forwards. They're getting very, very close.
Yeah.
And that's another pick and drive there, getting probably just a metre out now.
Yeah, I see who's lost their shirt. He's going back for it now.
Yes. Oh, he's got skins on. That's probably why I didn't recognise who it was. Oh. And also just results from some earlier games today. In the development women's 10s this morning, it was a close game between Goulburn's women's Dirty Reds versus Gungahlin Eagles. Gungahlin were up 17-10 at half-time, with Goulburn conceding a yellow card early in the first half. Goulburn were patient, coming in with 3 tries in the second half and winning 19-17. So that's another great development for women's rugby here in Canberra, in the Canberra and Southern States championships, or competition. A great idea to involve 10s rugby, as a lot of women's, and as I'm talking about something completely other than the game on hand, Goulburn get the scrum penalty. And there is some cheering.
They're excited about it.
They're very excited about it. But it's a great initiative, the women's rugby, the 10s rugby. Of course, a lot of, as it being one of the fastest growing sports, a lot of teams have enough for 10-a-side, perhaps, maybe not enough for, as that ball sails past me and Rachel, and hits one of the golden Dirty Red sign. But yeah, great development for women's rugby in the competition. And then Goulburn just let themselves down at set piece time. Throw a little bit off, the lift a little bit off. And it's a good charge through the middle by number 6, Toby Flick, sorry. Apologies, Toby. This number 10 is quite a live wire, little number 10. He's done pretty well there, run a little bit sideways. But Gungahlin will come back through the middle, through number 5. That is Mitchell Colbert. Mitch has a good carry through the middle. He's been alone a lot of work rate, and that is that replacement you mentioned a couple of seconds ago, running up through the middle. Oh, I forgot his name again. Mitch has another run to the sideline. What was his name again? Peter Jepson. Jepson, that's the one. I'll apologise to you, Peter. And it's another carry up through the middle. That one was number 4, Andrew Gibson. And they look to just slow it down again, Gungahlin, and go through their big man through the middle. That's another little pick and drive, but Goulburn looks to be on the ball there, and I'll be surprised if they don't get the penalty. No, the ball comes to the back. Another carry by Mitch gets them up around the 10 metre. They come to the back, and number 12 has a good run up through the middle, but is well tackled by, I believe that's Jackson Reardon. He has been very, very good for this Goulburn side over the last couple of weeks. A tough number 9, punches way above his weight. That's a good tackle there. And Gungahlin look to set. They come this way to Mitch Colbert and fights his way to ground, which is smart. And he's on the ball pretty well there. Been told to release perhaps. And that was Mullet. This is desperate defence by Goulburn. This is the kind of stuff that they need to do. But they fight their way over Gungahlin. Just as I say it, they fight their way over and score the try. So that might take the score to 12-0 to Gungahlin Eagles. I'm not quite sure who got over there. Did you see who got over then, Rachel?
I didn't.
No. It looks like number 3 maybe. Benjamin Stewart. Fought his way well through that. We'll call it valiant defence from Goulburn. And this is perhaps what I mentioned about in when they were down this half. They need to convert that pressure into points, don't they?
Yep.
I mean, they need to.
They look like they want it. They've just,
Yeah, they need to.
There.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they had an opportunity for a penalty down here, then a couple of weak little things, a weak couple of penalties, gets them all the way down this other end, and then they're playing.
Yeah.
Playing down the other end, unfortunately. So, as we say that, Tom Scott looks to line up the conversion. A little bit of an odd technique he's got going there. Maybe channeling his Johnny Wilkinson, even though he doesn't look like him. But hey, it works, so I'll be quiet. It's a good kick. Number 14. That takes it to
2 out of 2.
Yeah, 2 out of 2, exactly. So it takes it to 14-0 to Gungahlin Eagles. But people watching at home will probably say, Gungahlin have got the goods here, but I've seen this Goulburn side for the last couple of weeks, and they have every kind of fight you can have. The battle last week against Adfa was probably one of the best games I've seen over the past couple of weeks, and they have the capability to string tries together, string passes together, and really be effective. And that is a massive tackle by Jordan Lees on the far side off a good kickoff. And a penalty too. And I've redeemed myself by calling something accurately. The fight is exactly what I mentioned there, and that is all down to attitude and heart from Jordan Lees with a good chase. They look to quick tap and go wide. And this is Mullet running up through the midfield, and he runs past, and he looks like he's just short. Benjamin Cheatham just short. They look to swing it back this way, and it's a great wraparound play, and there's forwards on backs out here if they can get it there, and offload. And then a knock on by Gungahlin, perhaps. It's lucky there, very, very lucky. Of course, just being a tackle means that there was no ruck and therefore no offside line. So when he threw the offload to Gungahlin, I believe it was the hooker, James McGimpsey, who got hold of the ball there and took the ground, but then just lost the ball in contact. So we've mentioned it, and now we've got another scrum.
Yeah.
Another thing Goulburn are trying to avoid. Get the ball in and out and play, boys, but I suppose you can't avoid it when the other team knocks it on. So we'll see how they go here. I suppose they did get a penalty at that last one, didn't they? Up here, didn't they?
So.
And I should stop commentating because I'm okay. All right. I thought I was calling it the wrong way, but it is brave, I can tell you, from Michael Webber at number 8 to stick his head in there and his hands in there when boots and everything are coming back on top of him to pick up the ball, which is just the attitude of this Goulburn side. A little pick and drive gets them forward a little bit in a good space. Another pick and drive inches them probably 3 or 4 metres out. And another head, I was going to say head high there, but it looked high, but we'll play it on. Reece Henshaw says let the boys play, and they're probably a metre out. And another little pick and drive there. Can't quite see who it was. And they take it to the left, and inside ball. It's a great ball, but a great tackle as well. And have they lost the ball there? They've lost the ball. Yes, they did with a little knock on. It looks like there was a great tackle down low to chop and get the big man down, but now they look to play out of their own half, Gungahlin. You'll expect a clearance kick. No, pick and drive. I don't know why I do this. Alright, they look to play out of their half a little bit. Maybe just a couple of settlers before looking to clear through. And a penalty. I'll wait for the symbol. And they've gone quick. Definitely not on the mark there. So it looks to have hands in the ruck, perhaps from Gungahlin. And that's a big hit by Massey Karevi. McKellar, sorry, my bad. Thinking Samu Karevi. And they shift wide. Number 13 takes it into contact. That's Alec Palmer. He's still going. He's very close. That was a great run. And they look to bring it back to the left-hand side. Someone's lost a shirt a minute ago. Now someone's lost a boot. And that's a great line by Benjamin Cheatham. I'm hoping that his nickname is Mullet, because that's what I've been calling him. And they shift again. Look to come a little bit wider. The interplay between the forwards for Goulburn is rarely their point of difference. They're going to have to shift it here, but Gungahlin have reacted well. It's not a good pass. It looks like it was knocked on, but there was a penalty advantage for offside. Reece Henshaw brings them back to the 15-metre line about 5 minutes out. No doubt they'll quick tap because they'll want to avoid everything. And they'll come back this way. He looks very close, and it's a try to Goulburn, to number 8, Michael Webber. And the crowd, well, quite literally goes wild. Great try, wasn't it?
Beautiful.
Yeah. Really good shape, and to be able to shift the wall, and that was really, really good. So, Goulburn, I talked about it. They have the fight, then they've come back in with a bit of fight just there. This is the way they play. Backs up against the wall and having a crack.
Something to be said about a team that plays like that.
Exactly. I just had to check with one of the Goulburn supporters to make sure that I'm calling the nickname Benjamin Cheatham by his proper nickname, which is Mullet. So I can confirm I haven't butchered that one. So great try. I mentioned Michael Webber as well at the back of that scrum. He had to stick his head and his hands into the scrum to pick up the ball, which was brave, and then he scored the try. So leading from the front, well done to the big man. He's definitely, like I said, a big man. And
doing it all.
And look, yeah, you're right, actually. He's doing the kicking as well. And it sails directly over the post, so...
Can't complain about that.
Exactly. Michael Webber has slotted the kick, scored the try, secured the scrum. What else do you need? All right. So a minute 40 until half-time. 7-14 to Gungahlin Eagles. Very physical contact in the air, but it looked to be all fair. Knock on off Gungahlin Eagles, though, so you'd actually probably want Goulburn to play here and try and maybe run it out of their own half. Get it to Mullet and he'll run through, no doubt. You definitely want to play out here. You don't want to go to another scrum, and that's a great little line, but you don't want to be held up either. He fights his way forward and to the ground, and that's the dogfight that I've been talking about. They look to shift it back to the right, and that is Jordan Lees, the big man. He runs into some other big men. Probably get back out on your wing, big fella, but that's all right. They shift it back again to the right through Jackson Reardon, and it comes to... I didn't quite catch the number there, but it was not a bad little carry. And Mullet takes the ball up through the middle. Again, fighting his way, even though people get a dominant hit on him, he just fights, and they'll look to clear. Probably a smart move. And the torpy up the middle of the field is a hard one to catch, but well controlled by Jai Konecki. He runs up through the middle with some good footwork and avoids a couple of good tackles, and then is taken down about on the 40-metre line. Gungahlin just look a little bit lost here is what they want to do. A pick and drive, interesting choice. They come to the left. It's good clean out to get rid of the potential threat for a pilfer there. And now they come to this side, and it's not a good pass. It's probably good pressure by the number 14. Number 14, that is Matthew Spratley, and good defence in the end to stop that threat. Interesting play there, and that's number 15 in the front line. He's just didn't survive enough of the clean out there. He was on the ball pretty well, and the counter ruck comes through. That's pretty good. And Gungahlin just look lost here. They don't look like they're ready to play. They need to. No one putting their hands up, and Goulburn is keen. They're all ready to go, putting some big hits on, and they want to get on the ball. That's a good carry though, just as I've said that. And Goulburn almost on the ball there, and they've looked just to kick it out directly towards us into the Goulburn crowd, and that will be half-time here in First Division, first grade. Goulburn taking on Gungahlin Eagles. Gungahlin Eagles leading 14-7 in what has been a bit of a topsy-turvy first half. Gungahlin definitely having the better of it in set piece and things like that as well. Goulburn sneaking back with a late try to Mike Webber. just before we go to the half-time, we'll be back before long. Just like to thank our sponsors once again, Hans Superdry, Griffin Legal, McDonald's ACT, O'Neill's, Poplars, Rourke Projects, PTP, True Fit and Hill, and of course Bar TV, which is all of our matches today will be live streamed and commentated, both on Field 1 and Field 2. Next up will be Royals Women's taking on Uni North Owls. We'll be back before long with the second half. Okay, hello and welcome back to the second half of the First Division First Grade between Gungahlin Eagles and Goulburn Dirty Reds. Score is 14-7 to Eagles in what was a different kind of a first half. This is Luke Kimber in commentary, joined by Rachel Warwick from Gungahlin Eagles. And Rachel, was a bit of a different topsy-turvy first half, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would definitely say so. It was a big physical contest.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Goulburn definitely
really rough in there.
Exactly. Gungahlin definitely had the rub of the green in terms of the scrums and the set piece, and Goulburn probably a bit more with the ball in hand.
Yep.
So as the kickoff just happened, and looks like it was a knock on in the contest in the air from Goulburn, from Gungahlin. Sorry, apologies. Just a couple of kids running past, pretty excited.
Yeah, but they love it out there.
They definitely getting vocal, which is good to see, I guess. Of course, games going on all day here at Viking Park. God, that is some brave stuff, isn't it? Imagine there's, I can't even count now, 16 blokes, 8 people on each side. They're all coming back on top of you and you got to pick up a ball. Not a whole lot of fun, but he's done well again, the number 8, Mike Webber, after scoring that try just before the half. And the fullback, he gets a pretty good little pass away and then just gets caught with good line speed from Goulburn.
It's good of Konecki to hold on to it.
Yeah, and then they go back to this again.
Yeah.
This is their strength, their pick and go, isn't it? But I'm putting the mocker on things today. Now Goulburn stole the ball. Gungahlin are going to end up hating me. Now Jordan Lee's here on this side. He's taken up off the left-hand side. It's a pretty good tackle, and then he gets knocked down and knocks the ball over. Knocks the ball on, sorry. That was Massey Karevi with a good chase down tackle, and they go deep again to Tom Scott, who gets clear and kick away. Advantage should be over, and Mike Webber, who does just about everything for this team, is back in there for that, and he kicks as well, so don't be fooled by the number on his back, because he just hoofed the ball away and is coming directly for us. And he's taken that clearance about to the 430, we'll call it 38 metres, something like that. Exciting bit of play. See what I mean about that winger for Goulburn, eh? He definitely can get a run on.
Yeah, had the pace.
Yeah, he's big too. Jordan Lees, a very experienced campaigner, has come into this side and has proven. Okay, so the Gungahlin win that line out end. They come with a switchback on the inside. The great run by number 8, Kane Broderick. It's a good tackle though in the end to bring him down, and then another good carry. That is Mitch Colbert. He gets a good carry on the front foot, and they shift the ball wide. Another good tackle, a forward pass, and then a good tackle to put him into touch. So this Goulburn defence is different. It's not going to be massive dominating hits, but they're going to make their tackles. They're going to get up, go again, make their tackles, aren't they?
Yeah.
So definitely interesting to see how it plays out for the rest of the game, because I've no doubt that the coach for Goulburn would have given a ribbing at half time, no doubt.
I mean, it would be daunting. Just the sheer weight of the Eagles scrum is just...
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. Well, they've got to do it again now, don't they? Oh, okay. Yeah. Probably fair enough, and probably also a...
it's the second one today, I think.
Yeah, probably a penalty just to do with the dominance. Like, that's one of the ones where you go, they're dominating all day. I get, if it was to go 50-50, you would probably have to go to Gungahlin. So
was having to explain it again to the number 5, and
we'll let him do the explaining, because you and I sitting here nice and comfy, probably don't want to have to bother. We'll just call all the pretty stuff. So Gungahlin gets a nice kick, probably about to the 5 metre for Goulburn. And this is where Goulburn needs to step up here. This is a massive point in the game for them. And overthrow, and it's not straight. So, great news for Goulburn. The great news is they actually get the option of a scrum or a line-out, and they've gone the line-out, which is probably the smart decision. That being said, though, they'll have to do well to win this ball and then retain it to be able to clear out of their half. Looks like they're gone to the back, which is an overthrow, and number 8, Mike Webber, who's probably been my man of the match so far. Pretty early to call it, but he has been everywhere, and just as you do something good, you let him off the hook again.
Be hard on that side now.
Yeah.
Just like it's on this side. All those Eagles supporters right on the line there.
Yeah, exactly. There's a great crowd out here today. Not just what you can see in your camera. There's also people meandering around where me and Rachel are sitting as well. And of course, there's more games going on field one. We've heard of the occasional cheer going on there. So, scrum to be packed down here for Gungahlin. As Goulburn really they just need to work hard here. And that's actually not a bad effort, to be honest.
Yeah, they're really.
That's actually a pretty good scrum for Goulburn. That's well done. And they're going to bring the big man underneath. No surprise there. He runs through 2 tackles. And they eventually bring him down. And that's Weber again, I believe. They shift the ball. And that's number 8. Kane Broderick.
Good comp between those two.
Yes, it is. It's another good pass, and that gets it to Jai Konecki. They knocks it on, though, and fullback Adam Lachlan, the 2 first-name man. Okay. High tackle, okay. I was wondering what he was doing there. He kind of just kicked it for no reason. I was wondering why, and then the ref shows us that they had a penalty for a high tackle, so... Goulburn will breathe a sigh of relief after being probably in the worst position in the game to defend, and then turning the ball over and then turning it all over again and leaving Gungahlin to have a chance to attack. But now, well, that kick has gone a mile, but it has not actually gone that far in terms of staying in the field of play. So Goulburn will have a line out on about their 22. It's a pretty dynamic little shift, and Gungahlin has gone up and stole that, and that's Mitch Colbert. He's been doing that all day, and he's now got the ball, cleaning up messes and stealing lineouts, and actually having a lot of carries. He's played really well so far for Gungahlin, probably been one of the standouts, and this is the number 8 again. That's Kane Broderick having a run up through the middle. As Goulburn, though, has got on the pilfer and stolen the ball, and that's a great bit of leg drive. They'll need a good clean out to get rid of the pilfer from number 6, Toby a flick, and a clearing kick. I'd say not a bad option. Well, it's turned into a good option after that.
Oh,
but Rachel's had a bit of a There's definitely been a big hit there. Don't worry, Rachel, the boys will be fine. And they'll ground the ball. It will be a 22. There's something I love about this Goulburn side. Someone says get back on side, and everybody runs to get back on side. They really respect and work hard for each other all game. So, just with a chat at halftime as well with one of the Goulburn's faithful, Ash Kara. She mentioned that the reason this Goulburn scrub has been struggling is that they've lost a couple of props through injury the last couple of weeks. So it's a bit unfortunate, but wow, great defence in the middle there. That's from number 13, Alec Palmer, and they might have... okay, so of course, as soon as a tackle player knees touch the ground, you must release him to give him the opportunity to place the ball. It was a great hit from number 13, Alec Palmer. Probably just didn't realise that the knees had touched. It's a bit of a grey area, of course, of rugby union, so you need to listen to the referee to make sure that you hear when he tells you to release. So then you can obviously release the ball and release the player and then go back after the ball. And Thomas Scott.
Wow, right there.
Wow. Okay. Thomas Scott has kicked from the 50-metre line down to the 5-metre line. That was massive, wasn't it?
Huge.
And again, similar to the first half, the first section of the first half, pressure was all on Goulburn to keep them out, and they didn't manage to do it. They've done it once already this half, so let's see if they can do it again here. As Gungahlin goes to their faithful, that's Mitch, and not straight throw. I didn't want to say it as it was mid-air, as I'm often wrong, but it did not look very straight, to be honest. And Goulburn wisely go to the line-out. That being said, though, Mitch Colbert's been getting up and stealing a lot of the Goulburn line-out, so you kind of want to avoid him, which is... I don't know what they've gone for there, but it's somehow worked out. Overthrow with no one jumping, and they just caught it. Don't mind the move. We'll call it intentional. And they've come back to the right-hand side to Jackson Reardon, who's been very impressive in every game I've seen these guys play. And the clearing kick is made. It's actually a very good clearing kick. It gets them up to about the 30-metre line. And they go quickly. And that is Jai Konecki. Plays back to the blind side through number 10, Matt Power, that great name again. I've said it 1,000 times. And that's number 9 running up the blind up that far side. It is Sean Konecki, brother of Jai, I've been told. And they go back to this pick and drive, which is probably their mainstay, where they've had all their success throughout the start of this game. Getting closer and closer. Goulburn are going to have to put absolutely everything. And I can tell you in the background, Jai Konecki has just gone down. He's limping fairly severely as well. So it looks like they might even have got this into a maul here, Goulburn. They want to keep it. Okay, so they got a penalty. So if Gungahlin had got that over the line, then it would have been held up and not a collapse maul, which would have made a big difference. So, but it doesn't matter anyway because they got a penalty. Looks like for offside. And no doubt we'll see a scrum, I would say, because, well...
Yeah, I'm just noticing Jai over here. He's still looking like he's...
Did you see what happened to him at all?
No, I think he's getting some attention now.
Yeah. Looks like he's clutching at his lower leg there, maybe left leg, ankle. Yeah. It might be a bit of a big loss because he's been quite dynamic at the fullback position. He's getting around, hasn't he?
He definitely controls the game well.
Yeah. Experience as well. So obviously, well, he's getting some treatment now. So they'll stop play for this, and then we'll see what happens after that. I once again just like to thank our sponsors here today: Hans Superdry, Griffin Legal, McDonald's ACT, O'Neill's, Poplars, Rourke Projects, PTP and TrueFit and Hill, and of course Spar TV, who are doing all the live streaming here today on Field 1 and Field 2 of Viking Park. There will be awesome footy played all day today. So the next game up, starting at 1:15, will be the women's grand final clash between Royals and Newny North Owls on the main field. The main field will have Colts kicking off. I'm actually not sure what the time the Colts were kicking off. I've done that again, but Colts will be kicking off between Royals and Queanbeyan. They may have already kicked off, actually. I've lost the plot over here. And then in the second grade game, it will be Vikings taking on Gungahlin. And in first grade, the big dance, it will be the Canberra Royals taking on the Tuggeranong Vikings, which will be an awesome matchup. If you're not doing anything today, make sure you come down to Viking Park. Only $10 entry for what is a great spectacle. There are heaps of people milling around, and there will be heaps of people here for the rest of the day. So make sure you get down and have a watch of some awesome club footy here in the nation's capital. As we see Gungahlin go to their scrum. They're just going to have a reset here. It looks like Mitch Colbert's actually moved to the flank as well. That was probably happened ages ago, thanks to the injury to Matthew Vernon. So that's probably happened for a while there, but I only just noticed it here. And Goulburn will have to hold them out here, and no doubt get a penalty out of that one for shearing. And number 10's taking a really flat to the line. Looks very close, almost over the line, is he? No. Gungahlin will look to get back control of the ball, going through a pick and drive. It's great defence from Goulburn, though. They'll be doing very well to hold them out here. That's another great tackle. Holds up just short, and he's held up. So we'll come back for the penalty, and it looks like he's reaching for the pocket as well. Yes, a yellow card at scrum time. We called it in the first half. It was always going to happen, I think, with just how wounded this Goulburn scrum is. It was always going to be a struggle. So it looks like they've yellow card. I'll pick out a number for you in a minute when I see him going off. Who was going off there? Did you catch a number there, Rachel?
I didn't.
No. Yeah, I believe I saw a yellow card go up, so it looks like they're bringing a prop on. So I'd imagine that a flanker would be going off, or a winger, and they'll bring a prop on. Maybe I've got that wrong. I could have sworn I saw. Yes, there is at the far side, walking off. It's hard to see him. Boyd Newby has been yellow carded at scrum time. So, in order to keep the scrum going, they'll have to bring on a replacement, number 18. I haven't quite caught his number. I'll get his name for you in a minute, and he'll probably. You know what? I think they've put one of their flankers to a prop and just said, why not? Wouldn't be surprised if it's
power
Mike.
in there.
Yeah, wouldn't be surprised if it's Mike Webber. He's doing everything. So, so there you go. I've just been told Mike Webber has started his career in the front row, and I think he maybe should stay in the back row after that attempt at the scrum there. Unfortunately, I'm not sure if it was him, but look, there's not too much to say really. That was kind of inevitable, unfortunately. That being said, that being said though, Goulburn now gets the opportunity to hopefully get the ball back and start playing some rugby down the other half with ball in hand.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Reset.
Exactly, yeah.
So it'll be Tom Scott kicking again for the conversion.
Yeah. You'd probably back him here, wouldn't you? What are you going to say, in or out?
I don't know.
In or out?
Let's say in.
In? Oh, shock me. She's wearing a Gungahlin vest, and she's going to say the kick's going in. Shock me. And she goes in. Right. I was trying to put the commentator's curse on him for Goulburn. I'll always champion the country fellas, but and they've gone quickly too.
Yep.
As the crowd gets behind them, the kick
momentum.
The kick is actually a pretty good kick too. And there's that man again. He gets an absolute bomb of a kick away, and I'm not surprised that he didn't try to catch that one. I wouldn't have either.
No.
And that's Webber again. He's doing it all. Okay, and now they'll reset here. This is where Goulburn needs to switch on. They need to get the ball in their hands and just look to play. And as I say that, they're going to kick to the corner, out on the full, no doubt, and come back. No, not out on the full. But they'll kick to the fellow with the biggest boot here today. Okay, now they want to play here. Where's Lee's? Okay. I should stop talking. Oh, well, hang on a second. Oh. Okay, so that was a great option. I think it was Ben Toddkill who defied my words and said, no, let's go for the crossfield kick, try and get big Jordan Lees the ball in space, and it almost paid off if it wasn't for an unfortunate bounce of the ball. And now the play is right in front of us here, Rachel.
Yep.
You can definitely see Goulburn's got this. Gungahlin's got the size on them, don't they? Yeah, I have to almost agree with the Goulburn players there. That was a sideline. It was a bit of balking happening from the hooker, but we'll play on anyway. Yeah, definitely in the side though. You can't argue with that one. What they need to do here, Goulburn, is just not get frustrated, and remember, they have come from positions like this and before to win games. So just stay relaxed, stay calm.
Yep. I think that's one thing Eagles are great at, especially in this game. They're looking really quite relaxed, actually, quite composed.
They look good with ball in hand, don't they? You just don't doubt them, and that is not out. Wow, Jordan Lees has done awesome here, and you just want to see him run. He's a big man, and that was a good run, and that's the kind of stuff you want. It's actually not a bad option. I was going to say he probably doesn't want to kick. If it holds up, it'll be...
Let it go.
Oh, that's very unfortunate. Goulburn just wants the ball in their hands, as I've said. But, look, the option wasn't bad. The option was there. There was space there. Just an unlucky bounce again, and it goes dead. So the scrum will be set from where he kicked it, which is about on the 40-metre line in Goulburn territory. So, a bit interesting here. We'll see. And I just want to see who's gone to hooker here. So it looks like they put their hooker to prop, and I can't tell. Okay, so the Tabner, I've just been told, Tabner's been put to hooker there. So a good club man, but it's half worked. Hopefully it's half worked. It looks like it's kind of. They're inching their way forward, Gungahlin, but it's well done by Goulburn not to give away a penalty. And Michael Webber will not be thrown off easily.
Ooh.
There's a bit of a weird thing going on in the background there. as big number 4, Andrew Gibson, has a carry up through the midfield. They'll probably look to shift here. Number 10 gets it and shifts it wide. It's a good pass, and Massey Kelly is taken well and a good tackle and gives the ball off to Thomas Scott on the far side. Goulburn will have to dig deep to defend here. Mitch Colbert taken in a good tackle. Look to shift again to the right. It's another good counter ruck which disrupts the pass and makes it a pretty hard one. Gets the ball to Benjamin Stewart, who runs into the good tackle, and number 7, who is Mullet. And he gets around and makes another tackle there, Mullet. Pretty good. He gets on ball. Is he in a good position, sir? Holding on, he is. That is Benjamin Cheatham, a.k.a. Mullet. Makes 2 good tackles and then gets on ball to steal the ball. So very well done by him, and then a great kick gets them all the way down to the 40 metre line. We'll call it 38 metres. Oh, I thought they might have gone a little further, but I'll keep you commentating. Okay, Goulburn with a big chance here. They'll need to score in the next couple of minutes to put themselves back in contention with this game. So they go to the middle of the line out. Good option, well taken, and they shift it wide here. Play out the back, and it's a good tackle, though, from number 14. Johnny Power, is it? Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you, Rachel. And then play back to the middle to the captain, Jordan Wilcox. It's a good carry. And they look to play still to that side. Another good carry up through the middle. This leg driver, this Goulburn side, always surprises me. And talking about leg drive, there is a man with a plenty of it. And another good pick and drive up through the middle, and he runs away with it. That is Michael Webber, and he has been inspirational. There's a big hole opened up through the middle there, and Michael Webber runs straight through, and the Goulburn crowd is giving all of their support, which is a great chant goes out as well. Reds forever. The Dirty Reds, great work by Michael Webber. He is having an absolute game. And guess he'll take the kick, Rachel.
Yeah.
Michael Webber again.
Yeah.
Why not, eh? He'll score the tries, he'll kick the goals, he'll make the tackles. Anything you need from him. Mm-hmm. It's probably not the most technical run-up I've ever seen anyone take. But hey, why not?
Gets the job done.
Gets the job done, that's exactly right. And a good show of sportsmanship as well from Michael Webber, just having a chat for a couple of the fellas on the other side. He's enjoying his day out in the park, the big fella. Without a doubt, one of my picks for best performance for this Goulburn side today. May as well chuck him into prop, Michael Webber. If he's played there before, put him there again. He'll sort out the scrum, do whatever you need. And Gungahlin just taking their time. So, the game is back on here. Within 7 points, wouldn't it be great to see a tie at full time? We go to extra time.
Yeah.
Could very well happen.
Getting tight.
That's a great kickoff. And well taken by one of the Gungahlin players there. I've missed him there. And this is number 4, Andrew Gibson. Has a carry up through the middle, but it's a great tackle there from Mullet. And the ball shifts wide. A switch comes underneath, and that's another good tackle through the middle. Mullet's involved again. And they come again to this right-hand side, do Gungahlin. And I'd hate to say it again, but Mullet makes another tackle. That's 3 in a row. They come back to the left, and that's a replacement, a big man, but he's absolutely whacked by Michael Webber, who tries to steal the ball. Doesn't quite get it, though. They go to the left again, shift, and that's Mitch Colbert on the far side, who's had a good game. Go to the left again. The halfback has a little scoot and tries to palm someone else off, but gets manhandled there. Come back to the right through Mitch Colbert, who has another carry. He's had a lot of carries today. They come again to the right and to his second row partner, Andrew Gibson. And they're just... This is where Gungahlin just seems to get lost a little bit. And as I say that, Mitch Colbert has another great run. Goulburn just needs to man up here. It looks like it might have been a knock on. There was. So great defence. Great defence there from Goulburn, just to hold them out, and that is... put it this way, they need... It's great defence, but now they've got a scrum and they need to get all the way down the other end immediately. They don't want to spend their time milling around inside their own 22, because without a doubt, Gungahlin will make you pay. So it happened with Gungahlin's last try. It could very well happen again. So get the ball in, boys. Get it out. and either run or kick the thing down all the way the other end of the field. That's what you want to see anyway.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds bad because I think I'm almost sounding biased towards Goulburn. Well, I'm not trying to be. I just like the country footy players, and this Gungahlin outfit has been very, 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 very effective all year round, and has earned their way, no doubt, through the way they play, which is physical, into this grand final. They are no doubt the better team throughout the season, so we'll see how they go here. I don't mean to sound biased. Oh my word. I hope no one's hurt, because that whole scrum literally folded back on itself. I really hope no one's hurt there. A couple of blokes are down. We might just have to have a minute.
Like I said before, a lot of weight.
Yeah.
So
a lot of weight just pushing through. It always amazes me. Look at that. That Goulburn side got absolutely folded. The majority have stood up, and I think that might be Mike Webber at the back. He's probably tried to dive in and get the ball, and the whole thing's landed on top of him. I hope it's not, because he is one of the best players for this Goulburn side. Yeah, it is Mike Webber. He's got up. He's a tough character, but that looked like it hurt. Literally the whole thing folded on top of him, and he's brave trying to grab the ball, but even the toughest man would have trouble getting up after that. So good on him. He's going to stay up. So good work. And he gets rewarded with another scrum. So the other thing I really like about this Goulburn pack is that they could have, well, not that you wanted to, but they could have gone uncontested quite a while ago. But you know what? They're saying, this is rugby. We're not going to turn into league and not going to be soft. We're going to keep scrummaging all day long. Doesn't matter if we're getting going backwards. It's part of the game. And the ball was out there, was it? Wow. Somehow Gungahlin got the ball back, though. And go back to their pick and drive. This is their mainstay. This is what they're good at. Probably 3 metres out. And they've lost it. Goulburn has pulled this one out of the hat, and they've cleared out to the 22-metre line to a line out. Oh.
Get it out of there.
Hey, this is an absolute battle of the games. Battle of a game. And I'm losing my voice because I'm just excited. I'll apologise now. And I keep putting the mocker on them. As soon as they do something good, they'll let them off the hook again. And this is where, see, they want their defence here to stand up, not on their own 5 metre line, right here. So boys need to get involved, and right as I say that, Mullet puts a good hit on, but they get an offload off and they shift it to the right here, and no surprises what they'll be doing, which is going to be running hard, but there's a good hit made on, and they come to the right again. They spread it wide, and that is that Jai Konecki, and then it's been charged down, and I wonder Jordan Lees has almost got a hold of that, and he's probably just been unlucky not to keep the ball in. Jordan Lees, he's the name has forgotten me, but Jordan won an award on Wednesday night. I think it was Jordan Lees. Yeah, I can't quite remember the name of the award though. There you go. So the representative player of the year for Southern Inland and Monero and South Coast combined. So, all right.
Great run.
Another good run, yeah, straight up through the middle. That was number 12, Michael Nicholas. He's actually been very good, but I haven't said his name a whole. There's a great run up here. A big don't argue. And then a great tackle. That was number 8, Kane Broderick. And a great tackle from Adam Lachlan, the bloke with 2 first names. And Gungahlin looked to attack that far left-hand side, but Goulburn looked to counter-ruck. And have they won the ball? No, they comes out, and Mitch Colbert takes the ball up through the middle. And this is where Goulburn just needs to work really hard and defend here, not on their own line. And if they can get on the ball, he's on ball pretty well there, and he's stolen it. And what does he call a knock on? Yeah, as he was stealing the ball, I thought there might have been. Looks like he got a clean pilfer, but just lost the ball forward. It's unlucky. I think that was number 6, Bradley Clements. He's done well there. That's unfortunate. Okay, so here we go. Another scrum. Another scrum for these guys. And lucky we like rugby union because there's a lot of scrums this game, aren't there? There's some cheering. Oh, and as a car horn goes off behind us and a lot of cheering going on field 1. Goulburn managed to do pretty well to stop the momentum of this scrum and avoid a penalty by this stage. They'll need to defend really, really well here. As the number 10 takes on the outside. That was a great try. Well done by Matt Power, the man with the name. He gets a great try. He's been playing really well and consistent. All of this game has Matt Power controlling his team around the park and has been a bit of a live wire too in terms of getting the ball and taking it to the line and being effective every time he has the ball. Alright. So we'll have a kick now by that man Tom Scott from, I'd imagine, pretty much on the sideline. Can I update you on scores from today earlier on in First Division, second grade? West went down to Queanbeyan 22-5 in the grand final there. So obviously a hotly contested contest with a couple of red cards, but we'll ignore that and just remember that it is rugby and we are all mates off the field. In the Colts grand final over on field 1, Queanbeyan leads Royals 20 points to 14. And after this, there will be the women's grand final between Royals and Union North Owls. The second grade grand final, as there's some cheering happening from the Royals end of the grandstand on field 1.
Beautiful.
But meanwhile on this field, Tom Scott absolutely slots a kick from the sideline.
6 minutes left.
6 minutes left.
It's getting fiery on this side.
Exactly. This is going to be that's a great kickoff. Can they get under it and steal it? Knock back. Well, this is going to be a very hard contest this game now for Goulburn. They've fought well, but it has been a combination of factors for Gungahlin that have kept them in the game, or kept them winning. And that's a pretty good run by Mike Webber. He's taken well in a tackle by number 15, Jai Konecki. Seems to have pulled up all right from his ankle injury a minute ago, and then there's a penalty for not rolling away against number 21. Haven't quite caught his name. He's come off the bench early in the first half. And then number 5, Jordan Wilcox, takes the ball forward with a good dominant carry, and they go back to the right. Number 6 gives it to Bradley Clements. Couldn't quite catch who he gave it to. It was a good run up that sideline, and he comes onto the ball, does Mullet. And it's a good leg drive too to get them over the advantage line. They should look to play fast here to this left-hand side, but they'll go back to the right. And Bradley Clements has another good run up that right-hand side. Gungahlin is on the ball, but not legally. They go quickly, and most of this back line is offside, but he seems to have missed it, has Reece Henshaw, but that's all right. And they will look for shift it back, and that's Bradley Muderman, who has a good carry up through the middle, and they go wide, and that's unfortunate. And this is what I mean. Goulburn has the ability to make breaks, score tries, and look very dangerous. It's been their handling at times that's let them down, which is unfortunate. But perhaps not just their handling, it's probably more the Gungahlin defence that has put them under pressure and made these passes go to deck, which is unfortunate for Goulburn, but we'll look for I'll try and be positive, and Goulburn needs to look for a pushover scrum here, I reckon. We'll see if they can do it.
Yeah.
And the scrum seems to hold pretty well for Goulburn. And just as I say that, it has folded around to the side, and now they'll use it. And through that massive boot of Tom Scott, they've gotten, that is an absolute belter of a kick.
Yep.
Gotten down to the 40-metre line. He's been really good today, Tom Scott, hasn't he? He's kicking the goals, he's relieving pressure every time he needs to.
He's just one of those players you can rely on.
Yeah, definitely.
Does the job.
Yep. This looks like they've gone pretty quickly here. They'll look to spread the ball wide. They need to get the ball in Jordan Lee's hand if they can, because he is their attacking threat out here on the left-hand wing. They look to go back to the right and through Webber, and he gives a nice ball to his captain Jordan Wilcox, who charges up with some good leg drive, and they look to play pretty quickly if they can. Number 10 takes it forward. That's Aiden Greaves. And they'll come back to the left here, and his mullet is fairly isolated, but I wouldn't worry because they need to release him here, Gungahlin, and they have. Okay, and then they come this way again, and that's another. It's pretty physical defence, though, and a
Great
good clearing
tackle.
kick, but Jordan Lees is chasing back after it. Advantage is over. So let's see what Jordan can do from the back. He'll need to do something inspirational. He steps the first man, palms off. Does he? No, he doesn't. It's a great tackle again by Matt Power, who gets up and gets onto the ball. That's really, really good play from Matt Power. And it comes back again from Mitch Colbert, who carries the ball forward in a good, strong physical carry, which he's done all day. And they take the ball forward through the forwards again. Forward through the forwards, shock me. I wonder if that was a maul. It was. Great work there. I think that's Jordan Lees along with his... I'm not quite sure who that other bloke is. He's lying on the ground. He's going to get up. That's number 13, Alec Palmer, who got hit in a massive tackle to lose the ball a minute ago, but he's gotten back and helped out his defence. His team in defence. Now, I'm just going to quickly check... on Mainfield, because there's quite a bit of yelling and screaming. I'll quickly check the score for everyone at home. I'm not quite sure. It looks like the score is 27-14 to Queanbeyan, and Queanbeyan are ahead in the Colts game.
Eagles putting on a couple of fresh new players here.
Oh, yep. A front rower and a halfback, it look like, or is...
They've taken off Konecki,
it looks like number 9. Is not 19 new? I'm not quite sure.
Affleck and McGimpsey.
Okay, so
Taking up a couple, yeah.
all right, probably looking to inject a bit more energy into the end of the
Yeah.
game and just really put it to bed for Gungahlin. I have to say, with a minute left to go, it seems like Gungahlin's locked it all up. However, this Goulburn side must be commended on what they've done throughout this year, as they get a penalty and go through the quick tap. Their ability to beat last year's defending champions to get into last week in Adford to get into the final. Also needing to win absolutely every game to get here, and we got to remember they travel a long way to be able to play. So, that is. That was a bit silly there from big number 19. He's got on and give away a penalty, which is exactly not what you want to do. And so is kicking away the ball when you need to score tries. It's a bit silly. And he's lucky not to get a shoulder charge penalised there as well. This number 10 has been very, very good, has Matt Power today.
Yep. Lots of first grade experience under
Oh,
his
has he?
belt, I think.
Okay.
Yep.
There you go. That's why it's good to have people like Rachel Warwick here with me in commentary so they can give me the inside scoop. As Mike Webb takes the ball. Michael Webber. They want to finish on a good note here, Goulburn. Finish their season on a high. And there's a forward out here in the back line. So he needs to draw and pass if he can. He's just drawing pass if he can. And then he's giving it to the outside centre. He's got a clear under the line, Alec Palmer. And just as I said, he wants to finish on a good note. Well done, Goulburn. And the crowd has gone absolutely nuts. Well,
they've
Goulburn.
done it.
Gungahlin, yes, they have done it. They have won the grand final in First Division, first grade, beating Dirty Reds from Goulburn 28-19 in an absolute thriller of a game. A lot of battling going on in both the forwards and in the backs. And
Great contest.
a great contest. Well, thank everyone once again for tuning into the finals day here. Well done, Goulburn, to finish on a high there, but even more well done and congratulations to Gungahlin on what was a dominating performance. They led from the outset. They dominated in the forwards. Their scrum ticked them forward all day. For mine, Tom Scott definitely cleared a lot of the pressure out of their own half. Mitch Colbert had an awesome game, having about 1,000 carries. And also the number 10, Matt Power, really led his team around the park. Unlucky for Goulburn, but we'll see them again next year, stronger than ever, hopefully with some new props to prop up their scrum for sure. I'll have to thank again Rachel Warwick for joining me in commentary today. I really appreciate that. And yes, we'll also like to thank our sponsors as well. Heartland Superdry, Griffin Legal, McDonald's ACT, O'Neill's, Poplars, Rourke Projects, PTP and True Fit in Hill, and of course Bar TV, who are streaming all the games here today at Viking Park live across Facebook and YouTube. So if anything goes on the Facebook page, any problems, or if you're having any troubles streaming it, make sure you head across to YouTube to Bar TV. We'll be back before long with the women's game. The Uni North Owls taking on the Canberra Oils in the grand final. Once again, thank you, Rachel, for joining me, and we'll see you soon.